Hi.
Hello and welcome
Hi.
to a fabulous I've just noticed that my audio is having a few little issues, so everybody in the chat, please let me know if you're having difficulty hearing me. But hello and welcome. We are all joined by some fantastic adventurers here, 50-something people in the chat. Thank you all for joining us. We are kicking off a week-long live stream to benefit Seattle Children's Hospital, and you can contribute at bit.ly/extralifeseattle. Thanks to everyone who's donated already. We're going to be continuing this stream throughout the next week. We're starting with Dungeons & Dragons today and concluding on Sunday, November 4th with a game played with our drag queen cast of Queens of Adventure. But today we've got some extremely special guests. Some of them are here and some of them may be joining us later, depending on their mercurial schedules. Let's have everyone introduce themselves. We'll start with Bryan Wuest.
Hey, my name is Bryan Wuest. I am a recently indoctored PhD, and I teach thank you. I teach like film studies and queer study stuff. And I'm playing a character named Grady Reinica. She is a human ranger who has a pet fox named Vidor.
Outstanding. And Carlos.
My name is Carlos Maza. I work at Vox.com. I am playing Agrias, who's a paladin, and I'm writing on a notepad that is titled That Mom Hustle. So I humbly suggest that our team name for this session should be the Mom Hustlers.
Yeah, I like it.
Fantastic. That is so good. And Anthony.
Hi, Anthony Oliveira, PhD, culture critic, writer, dumpster raccoon. I write things, I program film things. I guess that's about it. Yeah.
And we will hopefully
look at my new dice bag.
Oh.
I got, look, isn't that good?
Oh.
I got
That's
this
also very
expo.
Specific to your character with the changing of shapes and whatnot.
Yes. Oh, that's right. I totally planned that. Yeah.
Congratulations on your transhumanist dice bag.
Yeah.
And we will hopefully be joined by the delightful Brian Safi. We're just doing some interaction with him to see what his availability is going to be like. There may be some last-minute scheduling issues, but hopefully he'll be joining us in a little bit. We will find out.
Yay!
We're going to be playing some D&D today, everybody. Or alternately, as so many people misunderstood from the font on our promotional image, a big dad D&D adventure.
Big gay dad.
Big gay dad adventure.
I'm not very dad. Whenever someone tweets like dad at me, I'm like, you have misunderstood my energy entirely. I think
we're obviously mom hustlers. We're not dads. We're the opposite. We're looking for dads.
We've got big mom energy. I'm going to make a quick tweak to my volume here. Just a little bit. And so, folks in the chat, please do let us know if you're encountering any video or audio issues, or if you're encountering any issues at all in your lives. So we're going to be doing some D&D. And if you're not familiar with Dungeons & Dragons, do not worry. This is basically just a story that we're all going to tell together. Sometimes there's dice. If you've missed our previous streams, also do not worry about that. This will continue what the party has been up to in our last two adventures, but you don't need to be intimately familiar with those. And indeed, we ourselves have forgotten almost all the details of them. So we're going to be going easy on the really deep D&D rules on this one. This is a super for fun stream, so and we also do not know all of the rules. That's our excuse. We're going to be going for about 2-ish hours today, which is short for a D&D adventure. So we're going to be going real quick and streamlining things that ordinarily would take a little bit longer. So that's why if you're super expert about D&D, there may be some surprises for you in how we handle things. And of course, anytime during the stream, please donate to Seattle Children's Hospital. You can do that at bit.ly/extralifeseattle. Huge thanks to everyone who has donated so far. I'm just checking the thermometer. James, it looks like the thermometer may not be updating on the stream itself, but he says fiddle-dee-dee. Donations are continuing to come in, and I'm delighted by everybody who has donated. Thank you all so very, very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Doing this. This is the best thing I do all year.
Yeah, it's like the only thing
This
that
is
makes me a
the
good
only
person
impact
all year.
any of us have in the world.
Do you guys watch?
Academics and working on the internet is the only material good we produce for humanity.
Yeah. Do you guys watch The Good Place? I feel like this is like the only little like bump in my score all year. It's like, like
It is directly tied to the thermometer by the money that we're raising. We're literally indulging our way into the good place right now. For the
Me an
kids.
indulgence. Yeah. Hang
Okay.
on. I'm still a weird animal thing, right? I brought my ears again.
Oh, good.
So- okay, hang on.
Oh
What-
yeah, I'm wearing a shirt that is Vidor, my companion.
Oh, that's so
Oh.
cute.
I'm
Carlos, what do you have to
completely
offer?
enchanted by that.
I have a tail, but I'm sitting on it right now. So yeah.
Nothing new.
There you go.
These are backwards. I think these are backwards. Yeah.
Anthony, I want you to know that I hate this, and this is my least favorite part of every stream we do. It's so
Right.
creepy.
Yeah, I know.
And watching them put them on is so much worse. Too.
I've sort of accepted that I am now actually a latent furry, that this is like my thing.
I hate it. I hate it.
Yesterday, my friend Leland was dressed. I was at a Halloween party yesterday, and my friend Leland was dressed as the little transmogrified monkey boy from Jumanji.
Oh God.
And
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know how I feel about the fact that I find you so much hotter when you're covered in monkey fur. Like, I don't know what that means, but
Let's get into that.
Wasn't the last thing we said before streaming? This is a fundraiser for kids, so keep it PG.
sorry. Oh, I'm already ruined.
Like big furry mascots. That's good stuff.
Your good play score just went way down.
Absolutely not. Furries are wonderful folks who do a lot of good for the world. So we are a furry-friendly stream. Carlos is shielding his
and
eyes.
started playing.
All right. So once again, thanks to everybody who's joined us, and I think we are ready to go. So, without any further ado, by the light of a full moon, your hayride wagon rattles along a rough road through the darkest forest of the Feywild. As you huddle amidst the hay bales, gnarled trees and jagged rocks whiz past, glowing eyes stare at you from the gloom, and you feel the vibration of every footfall from the team of black unicorns pulling your wagon through the night. It is cold, it is dark, and your traveling companions do little to calm your nerves. A scarecrow, in a heavy overcoat with a pumpkin head and a straw hat, sits atop the wagon, tightly gripping the reins of the unicorns. An identical scarecrow sits in the hay across from you, watching you from hollow orange eyes. There's a howl of a wolf off in the distance, and the scarecrow sitting in the hay glances off into the night, then back to you. And he says, "Okay, well, we're still a few hours away from the manor. Might as well get to know each other, eh? Queen Titania really seems to like you all. She said you've been here in the Feywild for almost a year now, and you've had the run of the place from the Crystal Forest to the Academy of Magic to the Royal Palace." And he looks at you, Agrias. "Must be a lot for a paladin to take in. So what's kept you busy these last few months?"
I shush him and then look out into the darkness, and without looking at him, I just say, "I'm on clown watch. Don't distract me right now."
Oh, okay. Sorry, they're very deadly. You gotta watch out for the seltzer bottles. Do a lot of acid damage. Grady, he holds out a gloved hand toward your fox Vidor. "I like your furry bird. Hey, Ranger, what have you been ranging lately?"
I think Grady, this entire hayride, has been curled in a ball at the back, just gripping her sword, staring unblinkingly at these horrifying scarecrows. But she says, I get back into her accent. I keep forgetting I committed to this. She says, well, I've become the court naturalist. I go out, I help the map makers, I gather herbs, and boring stuff, really. But then she scratches Vidor on the head and says, "Vidor, though, Lady Titania's really taken a liking to him, and he's kind of become a bit of a court jester for her. He's always performing and dancing, and the kids love him."
Does he do any tricks?
I give a series of short whistles to Vidor, and he, I think he rears back on his back legs and does a backflip.
Okay. I'm going to have you do a little performance check for Vidor. Is it Vidor or Vidor?
Vidor, I guess.
Okay.
What about acrobatics?
Oh, okay. I'll let you do acrobatics for that. Sure.
That is a much
First
better
roll
roll.
of the game. First roll of the game.
Yay.
Don't.
All right, Vidor. An 8.
Okay, so Vidor does sort of like a backflip tumble and then lands in the hay and just like disappears into the hay of the hayride for a while. And you just hear some like rustling and rumbling in there as Vidor is trying to find their way out.
That sounds cuter than a success to me.
Well,
I taught him that.
and also just remind me, what are Vidor's pronouns?
Him. I'm she, he is him.
Gotcha. And so while the fox is like rummaging around in the hay and like desperately trying to like scrabble its way out, Peregrinder, the scarecrow takes off his straw hat and he hands it to your sheep that you are riding.
Oh, yes.
I forgot about this.
You're in a wagon on a sheep.
Yes, you mean my sheep that I ride that can tell the future but doesn't seem to know the past? Yes.
Correct.
And is a reference to a film I have never seen? Yeah.
Absolutely. The best references are the ones you don't recognize. Your sheep happily takes a bite of his straw hat as the scarecrow tries not to stare at your form, which at the moment is half cat, half donkey. And he says, "You know, I thought I'd seen every kind of weird creature there is, so it's nice to finally meet somebody normal. Well, what have you been doing since you got to the Feywild?"
From my bag, I have a bag, right? Do I not have a bag? From my bag, I remove a set of calipers and I measure his pumpkin head and I mutter, "I want a pumpkin head." So I have been in the court of the Feywild researching my post-humanist dissertation, which I'm writing about transmogrification and its cultural effects on hobbit halfling social norms. And I'm working on like, I really want that pumpkin head. So that I want to, before this is over, I'm getting out of here with that pumpkin head. And I've been getting no help at all from my sheep, who every time I ask for help with my footnotes, just says at all, at all, at all.
The scarecrow kind of like holds on to his head for a moment. He's like, "Oh, well, I guess, all right, I'll let you use it when I'm done with it." And he glances off into the night as a howl of wind blows past the wagon. The wagon emerges from the forest, and the twisted trees around you disappear into the distance. Ahead of you, you see a craggy mountain pass with a road that winds between outcroppings of rock. And the scarecrow digs around in the hay for a moment and gives a little yelp when Vidor like latches onto his hand. He pulls your fox up out of the hay on his hand, and then he reaches in with another hand and he pulls out a scroll. And he squints at it for a moment. He's trying to read the scroll by the moonlight, and then he turns to Peregrinder and he says, "So hey wizard, it's kind of dark out here. Any chance you could whip up a little reading light?"
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can do that. Don't I have I have little magic spells that do this. Hang on. You create
like a true wizard.
What is my spell called that does little lights? Not familiar. Comprehend
Dancing
languages.
lights.
Dancing lights. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
What do I need to roll to make that happen?
Dancing
lights. 4 torch lights that hover in the air or combine to form a vaguely humanoid form of medium size. Well, I would like it to be vaguely humanoid form because I like a fancy lava lamp. So let's get like a little assistant light to read us whatever this says.
Outstanding.
What do I need to roll? I've got my dice.
As luck would have it, I'm sorry. As luck would have it, that is a cantrip, so you do not need to roll anything.
I'm going to roll one anyway.
Go ahead and roll.
I got a 6.
Okay, so I'm going to say, let's see, because you're so eager to roll, I'm going to say you're doing
What
a
have you
lava
done?
lamp, huh?
Yeah, it's a human-shaped lava lamp to read us the thing.
In
Yes.
a vaguely humanoid form? I mean, I guess since you're eager, I will have you roll medicine to see how well you're able to reproduce a human form.
Okay, can he stay if he works? I like him.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Which side do I roll?
So you rolled a 6 on that one.
Yeah,
and
but I
your
rolled
medicine-
this middle one.
Yeah, it's the
Okay.
right one.
That is really.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot how nice your dice are.
I know. They're My Little Pony dice.
You do have a +0 to medicine. So the 6, I'm going to say that the lights materialize in a vaguely human form, but it is upside down and the limbs are in the wrong place. And it's a bit of a freakish, it's sort of like the Akira blob. So
I love him. His name is Hugh.
Great. You've got the Hugh the Akira blob, just kind of like
Yay!
undulating there in the cart with you.
What color is he?
He's the same iridescent pink as my dice.
Hell yeah. That's a good hue for a figure.
Yes. Oh, does he get points? Pun points? Are there pun points?
There are. I'm going to award you a point of inspiration for the
Nice. We're killing it.
We're just bullying Matt into giving us points right now. That was a good joke, Matt.
I also award a point of inspiration to Uncle Deadly in the chat, who suggests Humunculus as his name.
Nice.
That's so good.
Let's see. So so inspiration point for the pun there. And the way inspiration works is that you can collect them like little tokens and spend them to give yourself advantage on a roll, counteract disadvantage, or you can use 2 to recover a burned spell slot.
So Carlos has 1.
Carlos has 1.
But I have Hugh.
But you have Hugh.
Yes. Okay.
And now that
Their
there's
spear is already kicking in, by the way.
We can tell.
By the light of your monstrosity, the scarecrow like holds the scroll up to him. And he's like, "Thanks," and he goes, "Let's see here." And he's reading the scroll. He says, "By order of Queen Titania, you are to locate the haunted manor that only appears by the light of the full moon on the scariest night of the year. Explore the house and obtain the enchanted amulet hidden at the heart of the mansion, but beware." I don't know why there's so many A's in that. "You must escape with your treasure before the manor vanishes at the end of the night, or you will disappear with it." Oh, geez, how come Titania gives you guys all the fun assignments?
This is so cool.
We're after an amulet?
Yeah, that's what it says. Some kind of amulet there in the manor.
Good. I want
Do you know anything about who lives in this manor?
I never go out this way. This is the first time I've been this dark into this deep into the dark forest of the Feywild. But and I got to tell you, I'm a little nervous. Hey, a paladin, do you think maybe you could check and see if is there any undead lurking nearby?
Yeah, it's not a big deal. I say really confidently, but my tail is tucked right in between my legs, so you can see that I'm terrified. And I guess it's that sense thing I have. I close my eyes and I, holding onto the side of the cart, try to sense if anything feels desecrated or undead around us.
Yeah. So read that. Is that your divine sense?
Yeah, it says, "I know the location of any celestial, fiend, or undead within 60 feet that's not behind total cover."
Okay.
I can also detect the presence of any place or object that's been desecrated.
So you close your eyes and you reach out into the darkness to see what you can detect, and you start to sense there's something. It's coming to you. Something's coming together. Something undead and mysterious. And then suddenly you can feel it. It's right there. It's in the wagon with you.
Yeah.
And you open you open your eyes just in time to see the hay rustle, and a ghost rises up out of the hay, and he looks around. He's like, "Oh yeah, you caught me." And the scarecrow's like, "Get out of here. We're always getting these hop-ons." And
You're going to get some hop-ons.
The ghost circles around you, and he looks down and he says, "So long, suckers, beep, beep, pew." And he vanishes off into the night. But just as he goes, there is a rush of wind, and a large owl flaps down onto the cart, staring at you with unblinking eyes. It hoots at the scarecrow. And the scarecrow says, "Oh, hey, sorry, friend, I don't speak hoot. Hey, Ranger, any idea what he's saying?"
Yeah, so Grady, she gets up and brushes some hay off of her and goes and sits cross-legged in front of the owl. And yeah, I can communicate very basically with beasts. Grady starts hooting at her. I don't know. She seems like a lady owl. Starts hooting at the owl. And to
Ask her her pronouns. Ask her her pronouns.
Yeah, ask her pronouns
and where she is from.
The owl hoots back at you, and you get a sense. Let's see. I'm going to have you roll. I'm going to say animal handling to see just how much information you're going to get.
11.
Is that 11 total?
Yes.
Okay. So the
Is that good? Is that bad?
11's okay.
I have a language power. We could double it. Would that be good?
I would allow you to work together.
I also can comprehend languages if I perform a ritual, and I understand the literal meaning of any spoken language I hear. And hooting is a spoken language. So
I would let you use your comprehend languages.
Yeah.
Now, I guess I say this is I don't really know this dialect of owl. Paragrounder, can you help me out?
Yeah. I can roll a die and help out, right? Yes?
I don't know that your comprehend languages requires a die. Let me see.
It's a spell. It's not a cantrip.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's see. I'm just checking your Paragrinder.
Twice now, Matt has said you just succeed, and you're like, no, I want the risk of catastrophic failure.
Let's see. Find familiar, unseen servant, chromatic oracle. Oh, comprehend languages. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, so yeah, this is a ritual for you. You can cast as a spell slot, or you could take 10 minutes to cast it as a ritual. It's a long hayride. The Scarecrow has said it's going to be a while before you get to the manor. So
Okay.
What do you do? What is your ritual to cast comprehend languages? And the owl during this time is just kind of like tapping its foot impatiently.
I take Hugh's hand,
Mm-hmm.
who is at this point covered in moths that have been drawn to his glowing body. And in honor of my new dice bag, we dance a very slow, beautiful Baroque waltz to the sound of Angela Lansbury singing, which begins piping through the trees. And that is our ritual. And then an orb forms and it shoots at the owl. And now the owl the owl continues to speak owl. However, in the tradition of Star Trek, we now understand its words as though they were English or whatever the fuck we speak. I don't know. Frig speak? I don't know. This is a children's stream. Sorry. Beep. Okay. Is that good? Was that a good ritual? And I roll a die. Do I roll a die? I don't roll a die.
Let's see.
Nope, it just happens.
Yeah, I'm going to say, I'm going to give you a point of inspiration for your elaborate ritual, which was...
Well-deserved.
Yes, nicely
Agrias is
described.
moved to tears like a proud parent the whole time the dance is going on, like watching a recital. So moved by it.
The chat is worried about the moths. Hugh is very bright, but he is not flammable, so the moths are fine. It is not an Asia O'Hara situation.
Yeah, and I will say, there's little. It's just a kind of attracting moths of the night around the wagon as you go, and every now and then the owl will peck at one of them just to eat one of the moths.
That's fine.
And so after you perform this ritual, the owl is hooting to Grady. Grady is doing her best to translate, and then sending the translation to Paragrinder, who is making sense of the words that are coming. And together, you're able to piece together the owl saying, first of all, it's she, her, so thank you. And she adds, bats about 10 minutes ahead. And as it happens, your ritual is about a 10-minute ritual. And no sooner does she say that than a cloud of bats sweeps over the cart, screeching and crashing against everyone. I'm going to have you do a dexterity saving throw to see if you can avoid them. But because you were so diligent about understanding her, I'll let you roll this one. I'll let you all roll this with advantage.
Oh, sweet.
So to do a dex saving throw, you roll a d20 and then look for the saving throw section on your character sheet and add the number for dexterity.
Is D20 the one with the most sides?
That is it.
Okay.
That's the big one.
Go ahead.
I rolled an 18.
Okay.
And dexterity, I have a 14 plus 2. Is that right?
Dexterity is going to be in the upper left corner of your character sheet. There's going to be a separate box that says saving throws. So for Grady, Oops, sorry. For Paragrinder,
Yeah,
it's a plus 2 for Dex.
What's the little 14 under it? Does that matter?
Don't worry about the 14 for now.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. There are a lot of numbers. Like we can like dive into the deep number stuff, but I don't think people have tuned in to do their taxes. So.
Oh, okay.
That's why I play D&D.
Yeah. Different approach.
The chat is correct. I had to do that dance while glued to my sheep, who is still. And by the way, that sheep knew those bats were coming and didn't say a thing. I'm really mad. That's not.
She's been looking. She's been chewing the hay very diligently, and she's like, oh, "What is something going? Whoa!" Just as the bats fly over you. Okay, so that's a 18, I think, for Grady. Paragrinder, you got. Sorry, and all that. What did you get?
Me?
No, that's Paragrinder.
Oh, Paragrinder
I
got
got
the
it.
18.
Yeah.
Plus 2, so that's a 20. Grady, how'd you do?
Well, Vidor got a 24 and Grady got a 7.
Okay.
So I think I watched Vidor just fly through the air with this grace and turned to watch and got a face full of bats.
Yes. Just describe you turn like it's just like splattered against your face like a mustache. And Agrius.
17.
17, not bad. So that's pretty good. Everybody is able to dodge out of the way of these bats, except, alas, for Grady. Grady, you're going to take 2 points of damage from the bats.
Oof. I think I call out to them as they and say, "What are y'all flying from?"
Great, I love that. So as like your face is your voice is a little muffled because of the bats on your face, but you're asking them what they're fleeing, and you just hear like cheeping in the cloud of bats. The manor's appeared. It's the one night of the year. Flee, flee, beware! And then they disappear off into the distance. And as they clear, the manor comes into view. There's a spiked, rusty gate that swings open to allow you through, and you approach the front of the house. It's a tall, jagged mansion, dilapidated and covered in cobwebs. And the tall spires of the house are silhouetted against the full moon. It's surrounded by dead trees. And you clamber down from the hayride and stand there before the front steps. The scarecrow leans over the side of the wagon. The owl is still perched there, and he's got like a bat that's just like dangling off of his arm that he's picked up. And he says, "Oh, hey, I almost forgot. The doors of the mansion won't open unless you're in costume." And he rummages around in the hay, and he pulls out a few soft sacks, and he tosses them to your feet. He says, "Here you go. There's some costume kits. Go nuts, you crazy kids. We'll be back for you in the morning. Bye." And with that, the unicorns leap up into the air like dolphins and then burrow down into the ground, pulling the hayride and the scarecrows down with it, leaving no trace beyond a pile of leaves and a pumpkin spice latte.
Oh, beautiful.
You now stand.
I love a good exit.
You stand before the manor now. The bags of costumes are at your feet. The full moon is silhouetted in the sky, and you hear from somewhere in the distance the howl of a wolf. What do you do?
I want to grab the latte and make a costume that's a Valley girl with Starbucks in her hand.
I love it. Are you doing like the yellow Cher look from Clueless?
Yeah, like I'm going to cut up part of the sack so that it looks like a little bit of a wig. And then the rest of it's going to be like a crop top, but my armor is obviously showing underneath where the belly should be. Mm-hmm. And then a mini skirt with the armor showing underneath.
Fantastic. Very fashionable, very, very haute couture. I love it. And you're holding the pumpkin spice latte.
Yeah.
What else? What's Paragrinder doing?
Paragrinder is going to... So what? There's a sack from which I can remove... What's in the sack?
It's all manner of costumes.
I see. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, given that I am what the chat is calling a shankoon, which is a sheep, donkey, I forget what raccoon. No, I don't think I'm a raccoon. Actually, I'm not a raccoon. I'm a cat. Mm-hmm. But whatever I am. Okay, so I'm gonna go very meta, and I'm gonna disguise myself as a normal halfling. So it's just a very poorly made. Because I'm from the 80s, it's that awful Reagan-era Halloween costume where I have the face of my old face as like a plastic mask, and then I'm wearing like a poncho that has a print of myself on it. And that's my Halloween costume. And it's very flammable, so I have to stay away from Hugh, even though he is probably not producing heat, because these things are basically just napalm waiting to happen.
Right.
So that's my Halloween costume.
Somehow, even when it just touches things that are brightly lit, not even not even flame. It goes
Or like, if you write the word flame on a piece of paper, your costume ignites. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that's great. So you're, I'm gonna say, like, still like cat donkey size, still like sitting on the sheep,
Yep.
but
Yeah. The sheep is clearly visible below my poncho. Yeah.
do you have a costume for the sheep?
It's Elaine Stritch, right? I mean, it sounds suspiciously like Elaine Stritch. What is Elaine Stritch's most like iconic role?
Ladies Who Lunch
Yeah.
from Company.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to ask Agrias to help with this costume, because it's out of my wheelhouse. So
Okay.
what is my sheep wearing? How do we get her in a Ladies Who Lunch look?
She's wearing like a severe woman's business suit and has an overflowing cocktail on her hand, or I guess in her hoof.
Beautiful.
And as I'm being really friendly, I'm like kind of pulling back to Grady and saying he's definitely the final boss, and then like going back to what you're making.
Perfect.
Fantastic. And so, like, as you're dressing her up in the severe business suit, she's glancing over at the back in the direction that the wagon disappeared into the earth, and she's like, "Well, I miss my friends. They certainly fed me well with that straw hat. But then again, does anybody still wear a hat?"
Oh, nicely done. Can we give you inspiration?
You may. I will gladly accept. And Grady and Vidor, what are you up to?
So I think for Halloween, Grady's gonna go from like butch to soft butch, and so she's digging around and she finds, I think, like a red baseball cap, and a skirt and a short sleeve shirt, and she puts it on under her leather armor. So her leather vest is on the front, kind of like a catcher vest, and she pulls her hair back into a ponytail. I'm kind of thinking like Gina Davis in like League of Her Own.
Great.
And maybe she finds a bat in the bag. So she's gonna be Gina Davis, and then I think Vidor is just snuffling around in these little sacks and comes out just kind of covered in cloth, like a red cloth over his head and a black cloth over his body. And Grady's gonna kind of pull the red cloth and tie it in a little thing under her, and I think she looks like little Edie.
Oh, marvelous.
Vidor looks like little Edie.
I am so delighted by that. Inspiration points for everybody
Yay!
on these costumes.
We're all so good at this.
Yeah.
We're so good at Dungeons and Dragons.
We're the least intimidating crew in the world right now.
That's true.
Can't lay gay cliches. About
Gina Davis, she would intimidate me.
That's true. That is a good point. And I'll say, like, either of the Edies, but little Edie, like, marching along, like, oh my god, like, it's such a good, like, pet costume.
I'm gonna find her little scarf, like the American flag. She can like have in his teeth around.
Great.
If Charisma was here, I could use one of his scarves.
Charisma does send his apologies. He got called to set unexpectedly. Yeah, I was expecting to be done earlier, but just made a big donation and owes us all a big drink and huge apology. Hope it goes gangbusters, knock 'em dead. And that is certainly what may happen later tonight. So sadly, Charisma is off shooting this afternoon. So we wish him all the best. Let's see. So inspiration points for everybody. I love, oh my God, the Little Edie. I'm obsessed because when I first moved to Los Angeles, it was before I moved. It was right around Halloween, and I was at a bar with a friend, and there was someone there dressed, it was two people. One was dressed as Jem from Jem and the Holograms. The other was Little Edie. And I was like, I love your Little Edie costume. And he was like, thank you so much. I've been wearing this costume for 5 years. I made a bet that I would wear it every year until someone recognized it, and you're the first person to recognize it.
Oh, it's like a magic spell.
Him from the curse.
Yeah, I lifted the Little Edie curse for him. So that is one of my very favorite costumes. Great. So now that you are all dressed up, you turn to the manor, and the door suddenly, slowly creaks open to beckon you inside. And we'll take a quick, just a really quick break here to note that we just passed $400 for the extra live stream. Apologies on the stream itself. It is not, the thermometer is not updating. But hooray, $400. And I think James,
Yay.
have...
Nice.
So you can either hide it.
Oh, yes.
Or if you want, you can try right-clicking on it
In the OBS.
and try interact. And that
Okay, so we're going to try to extra live progress and see if that interact updates the thing. Oh, I see. It needs to be refreshed.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can.
Quickly refresh it like you're in the page.
Oh, there's not a control to refresh it.
Right-click.
Right click does not do it. So,
You can just hide it.
yeah, we'll just hide it for now. Beep. And it's gone. Okay. So thank you to everyone who's donated. Yay, $400. Keep them coming. We're raising money for Seattle Children's Hospital. You can donate at bit.ly/extralifeseattle. And we're going to be doing an entire week of live stream games. So stay with us. And thanks again to everybody in the chat who has joined us. Some folks have... Oh, yes. Cheka was calling for Joanne and company. So fantastic. We have
been justly chastised. It was not Elaine Stritch. It was Carol Channing.
Honestly,
Now, I have not seen the film, so I feel immune. However, Elaine Stritch is always a good costume, so Sheep is still nailing it. Did the sheep have a name? Do we remember?
I believe she referred to herself as the White Queen. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Right.
the White Queen.
I like it. I like that. Is Hugh still with us?
Yes, I believe. What's the? Let's see. What's the? It was Dancing Lights that you used to cast that, I think.
Yep.
Dancing Lights. I'm just checking to see if that's a. Oops, that's not a monster. It's a spell. Dancing Lights. I don't think that's a concentration.
It is.
Oh, it is. Okay, so I think that's going to last for as long as you are concentrating on it. Oh, it lasts for 1 minute, so you just have to refresh him every minute to keep
I
him
am
going.
doing that. Yes. Yeah. Just so that's clear.
In the same form or different forms every time?
How about let's while we've been dealing with technical difficulties, I have whittled a little jack-o'-lantern for him to wear as a head. So he's now illuminating out through a jack-o'-lantern. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Definitely the final boss.
Yep.
No,
to kill this thing.
There's nothing sinister about this whatsoever. You just need to move. This is I dutifully take a note about the assumption that just because I am somehow not in a human form that I am sinister. So that goes into my dissertation.
He's yes, it's an important cultural anthropology that you're doing right now with the monsters.
It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's the culture you were raised in. It's not Agrias's fault.
So Agrias, I assume you're just warily eyeing this blob lit up form as you've got the pumpkin spice latte in your hand there.
Yeah, I'm taking sips really angrily, as if they're holding up the line in front of me. But secretly, I'm jealous that everyone has two pets, and Peregrinder has 2 pets. Grady has 1 pet, and I have a pumpkin spice latte that tastes like shit. So I'm quietly fuming at everyone else because I'm secretly jealous.
It's not my pet. It's my lower half. It just happens to be sentient.
Yeah. Mostly from the West Coast.
The pumpkin spice latte does taste intensely of pumpkin, and after a few sips, you smell intensely of pumpkin.
Am I drinking poison? Is this going to kill me?
It's only one way
Is
to
this
find
pumpkin
out.
spice latte the final boss?
Yeah, you're with every sip, the scent of pumpkin is growing stronger and stronger and stronger around you.
It's my body wash.
So the door of the manor is now swung ajar, and the party nervously approaches the door. You push it open, and you step slowly inside the house. Candles flicker to life as you enter, revealing a cavernous foyer full of Gothic decor. A faded red carpet leads up to a grand staircase. Embroidered into the carpet are 5 gray runes arranged in a circle. Over the foyer hangs a colossal crystalline chandelier glowing with an otherworldly blue light. Dark passageways lead to the left and the right. There's a musty scent here, a thick layer of dust. And on the table in the center of the foyer is a dilapidated dollhouse, an exact replica of the manor in which you now stand.
No, thank you.
We have to queer this thing. We got to change all the rugs. We got to make it nice. We're gonna have a housewarming party. This is a renovation team now.
Yeah, I agree. I like it. Although I kind of like it's giving me that that castle from Bloodborne kind of vibes. Okay, I would like I go in. Can I inspect? Or wait, do I have to wait my turn for something?
You're not in a turn-based thing now, so you
Oh,
can just
okay.
do whatever whenever.
I go in and I start inspecting the dollhouse to see what's in the rooms beyond the room we're in.
Let's have you do an investigation check. That's going to be the D20 plus for Peregrino. Your investigation is it's a +6 for you.
Okay, I rolled a 10.
Great. So that'll get you to a 16.
Is that good?
That is quite good. Yeah, you go over to the dollhouse and you inspect around the sides. You see that there are some hinges at one of the walls, and carefully swinging it open, you see that the dollhouse has 5 labeled rooms, and they are the master bedroom, the ballroom, the kennels, the laboratory, and the tomb.
Let's split up. Let's split up. Let's split up.
Can I investigate the runes? Do I recognize any of these things?
Yeah. Let's have you do investigation on the runes.
14 plus. I don't think I'm good at this at all. Nope, -1, 13.
13. So you look closer at the runes. They're woven into the carpet in gray fabric, and you see the 5 of them. One is a blueberry, one is a strawberry, one is an orange, one is a fruit salad, and the last one is a chocolate bar.
Wait, blueberry, strawberry, fruit salad, chocolate. I missed one.
Orange.
Oh.
And then, could you remind me what the 5 rooms are? It's the tombs, ballroom, master.
It was a tomb down at the lower level of the dollhouse. There's a master bedroom off to in one wing. There's a ballroom in the other wing. At the back of the house are kennels. And there's a large stone tower rising up above the dollhouse labeled laboratory.
Oh.
I scratch Vidor behind his ears and ask him to sniff around and see if he smells any signs of life or unlife or whatever's here.
Okay, I'd say let's do an investigation check for Vidor.
Can he do perception? Smelling?
What does he do to what's his perception process?
He's just sniffing around because he's good at. He has advantage on smell checks.
Okay, let's have him do that.
He's rolling so much better than I am. 30, 20.
Okay. So Vidor is like, he puts his nose down to the carpet and he's sniffing back and forth, and he goes over to, there's some shadows off to the side of the staircase, and Vidor disappears off into the shadows, and you hear a voice from that darkness that says, all right, call off your dogs, and Vidor emerges. In his mouth is a black cat, and the cat says, unhand me. Well, welcome to the house. Make yourself at home, I suppose.
I say, Vidor, put down our new friend. But he's talking in common, the cat.
The cat is speaking in common.
Okay. I guess I get down on my hands on my knees, kind of bending down, and say, hello. Sorry, do my other character's accent. Hi, little friend. We love your house.
Yes, it's not much, but I call it home. And the cat leaps up onto the dollhouse, and I say, I see you've already been manhandling the model. And he says, well, what brings you out into this on the scariest night of the year?
Ooh,
I think we're here to steal your amulet. Right?
Wish you hadn't said that.
Is that what we're doing? That's what we're doing.
I just pull out my sword, expecting the worst. Like it's too late now.
He says, well, you wouldn't be the first. Yeah, it's true. There's an amulet hidden somewhere in the house. I don't care for these kinds of things. I suppose you're going to be searching around for it, and you've already noticed the runes, I see. That's your key to getting into the vault.
Which you're fine with, Mr. Cat? Is that correct?
It's no skin off my tail.
Oh, okay.
I ask, does anyone else live here with you?
Oh, yes. Other residents of the house. They've each got one rune that'll get you into the vault. If you're searching for the runes to open it, they're the ones who can get it for you.
Oh, okay.
Do you have a name?
Paul. They call me Paul.
Paul the cat. Okay. Are you originally a cat? Is this something that has happened to you? Because speaking as a group of people who were recently cats, we know how to help you out.
The cat leaps down off of the dollhouse and kind of circles around the sheep and like leaps up onto the sheep and whispers into your ear, "You're not fooling anyone with that disguise."
I just wish to apologize for suggesting there's anything wrong with being a cat originally. Like, to suggest this is not a condition that needs fixing, but if it's not the condition you're after, then but
Grady slowly puts her hand over Peregrinder's mouth.
The cat leaps back down off of the sheep and circles around again and starts like stalking off towards the shadows. He looks over his shoulder and he says, "Here in the Feywild, once a cat, always a cat, and also never a cat. It's the same thing out here."
Okay, well, Paul, do you have any suggestions of which rooms we should go in and in what order? Because I'd really like to split up, but nobody else seems into that idea. So
split up. Haven't you ever seen any horror story at all?
It always works out. It's fine. I have a good feeling that I'm the final girl in this situation. So
final donkey, you mean?
Yeah, whatever the hell this is. I don't subscribe to labels.
He says, "It's up to you, your preference. I'll be keeping an eye on you wherever you go in case you need any help." And then he moves off into the shadows off to the side of the stairs. And the shadow blends with the inky black fur, and you can't see him anymore.
Does Vidor seem drawn in any particular direction?
I would say Vidor is probably sniffing. The most aromatic direction would probably be towards the back of the house.
Towards the kennels?
Mm-hmm.
One of those gross things living there. Does my sheep have any ideas, since they can tell the future? Where should we go? Where will we go?
She's looking around and she says, "Now remember, I remember best the week after next."
Damn it.
But I seem to recall that you're all going to be killed by some hilarious comedy stylings later in the adventure.
Oh.
Says,
okay, I've got nothing.
I seem to recall meeting some of my old friends from college out back behind the house.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
Kennel?
Kennel. Yeah, let's do it. Kennel.
Okay. Kennel. So, as you walk back through the house, you hear a long, low, plaintive howl from the rear of the house. You creep through.
We made a huge mistake. Back to the ballroom. Back to the ballroom.
What exactly?
I'm made of livestock.
What? I'm just curious what your marching order is here.
Oh, I'll go first.
Send
Maybe,
Hugh.
yes.
He's insubstantial. He's mostly made of moths at this point.
Yeah, Hugh first, and then me behind Hugh.
Great. So it's Hugh, followed by Agrias, who, like, the whole time you're like, "We've made a terrible mistake." You're leading the party.
I have my shield out, and then my main hand is the pumpkin spice latte, not my sword now.
Okay.
Just like chugging it behind the shield.
Are you still like drinking from the pumpkin spice latte?
Yeah, it's empty. I'm doing it out of habit. It's like a phantom limb at this point.
Okay. As you're walking there, who's behind you?
I think maybe let's put Peregrinder in the middle.
Okay.
I'll take up the back and keep my eyes on the back.
Okay, and so we've got Grady in the back. Peregrinder, as you're going along, you can see just at the top of Agrias' head, there seems to be just a little bit of a woody stalk that is sprouted back there.
I am so jealous right now. This is not fair.
So bad.
I carefully sketch it and say nothing.
Okay. Agrias does not have any idea that is there.
Nope.
As you arrive at the back entrance of the house, you hear barking as you open the rear door, and you step out into an indoor kennel. There is a row of cages along the wall. Inside the cages are about a dozen people on all fours, barking excitedly, all wearing black and white spotted onesies.
Nice.
Outside of the cages is a tall, shaggy figure in tattered clothing. You recognize on him the glowing eyes, the wild fur, the sharp fangs of a werewolf. And when you enter, he's rubbing one of the people on the head, and he's saying, "Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?" And then he sees you, and he gasps, and he says, "Oh, wow, nice sheep. You guys might be just what I need."
I'm
I
so
hate
into
it.
this. I love it. I love it. What do we do? Okay, Hugh's fine. No one's in trouble. Okay, I introduced myself. Hello. Can I also be a werewolf?
That is the next natural step for you, I think.
You're like, what do you do? Like, are you like doing like a on the sheep to like move her into the kennel?
Yeah, I guess we never really quite decided what our relationship was in terms of like, can she make me go places I don't want to go, huh? Yes, I give her a gentle back pat, which is how I indicate I would like to move forward. Yes, on my.
So you move forward. You've just asked him if you can also be a werewolf, and he's like, "Sure, happy to oblige." And he opens his mouth. You see like he's like glistening fangs.
Amazing. So into it.
He says, "Roll up your sleeve."
Oh, okay. It's that kind of party. Okay. Yeah, I do it.
You roll up your sleeve, and he takes your arm gently and gives it just he goes like, "Om nom 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 nom." Roll Arcana.
Oh, is that the 20?
That's a 20, and that's a +6 for you.
11.
So it'll get you to a 17, and you feel a surge of magic wash through your body.
You bet I do. Oh.
From your research, you know that lycanthropic changes occur on the next full moon. So you have something to look forward to in 1 month.
Ah, okay. All right. Well, I'll keep notes. Okay. Thank you.
You also feel your nose is suddenly wet.
Always. Yeah. That's unrelated.
I look around. Do the people in the cages seem like distressed? Like, are they prisoners or happy pets?
They are barking happily. They have cages full of toys and water dishes and food. It's human food. It's just like nice human food, like in dishes. And they are clearly in like good mood. Some of them are like curled up and like napping in little like puppy beds. And the werewolf's like, "You are just in time. You gotta help me out. You see, here's the situation. I'm going to be competing in this big dog show in a couple of days. I'm a little bit nervous because I'm not really prepared for the sheep herding challenge, but it looks like you might have a way with sheep. Do you think could you show me how to herd?"
Me? I mean, I guess so. I don't really know how good I am at it. I kind of cheated by gluing. The first step is to glue yourself to a sentient sheep who can tell the future, I think. You could borrow her if you wanted to. Do I have a way to unglue here?
He's like, "Oh no, we got plenty of sheep. Come on, follow me."
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're all riding sheep. Love it. Love it. Let's do it.
The werewolf leads you out of the kennel and into a small field that is enclosed by hedges. And there you see 20 sheep clustered around a hay bale, chewing calmly. At the far end of the field, about 60 feet away, is an open pen. And the werewolf points, and he's like, "Okay, so at the dog show, I'm going to have to herd 20 sheep into a pen, and I have no idea what I'm doing. Could you show me?"
Does Carol have any takes? Carol, what do you think? What do you think we should do here? I'm not the expert. I defer. I think no animal should do what it doesn't want to do. So, what does Carol think?
She says, "Oh, I love a parade."
Damn it! I walked into it.
You just, I seem to recall that you're all very persuasive. And so here's how this is going to work. We are going to do a little sheep herding mini game. Each one of you has an opportunity to herd the sheep, and depending on how well you do, you're each going to get a bonus that we will add to a D20 roll to determine how many of the 20 sheep get into the pen. So you're all going to do something to herd the sheep at the same time. And so first, we're going to go around. Each of you is going to have an opportunity to do a little herding. You tell me what your plan is. We'll figure out how successful it's going to be. And then once you've all gone, we're going to roll 1d20 and add each of your bonuses to see how many sheep you get into the pen. And if you do really well, there might be a special prize for you.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right.
Right now, the 20 sheep are standing around the hay bale at the south end of the field. The pen is open at the north end, 60 feet away. And we're going to start, let's start with Grady, the ranger. What do you do?
I think Grady's going to go over and very politely ask them, would you all mind heading over into that pen?
Okay, let's have you roll persuasion.
Because I can talk to them. Ugh.
I'll have you roll persuasion with advantage because you can speak to sheep.
16.
Okay. Let's see. I'm going to say we'll give you a +4 on that.
And maybe also I can minor illusion a what I whisper over to Carol. What does sheep like to eat?
She says, "Oh, only the finest hay, but it's got to be great, like well prepared and sculpted into something attractive."
Excuse me, Carol, where are your loyalties right now? Like, I'm feeling so betrayed by my own ass. I can't believe it.
So as
she says, "Who said that?" She
asking
forgot
them
that you're there.
politely, she minor illusions a nice table setting in the pen with some hay on some fine china, some candles. Yeah.
Great. Let's have you roll deception on that.
Deception. Okay. It is. Oh, that's the fox. 8.
All right. So I'm going to give you your combination of persuasion and deception there. always a great combination in trying to lure somebody someplace. I'm going to give you a bonus of 6 on that.
And then is that a roll D20?
We're gonna do one final D20 for everybody.
Okay.
Next, let's go to Paragrinder. What are you up to?
Okay, wait. So how many? Wait, do we know how many then?
We do not yet. That will be determined by a final D20 roll at the end of everybody.
I see.
Doing
okay.
their thing.
All right. Okay. In that case, okay, I've got a bunch of. Can I cast more than one spell at once of my spells?
So, if they're concentration spells, you can only cast one of those at a time. Which ones did you have in mind?
No, I think I can do it with just one then. Okay, I have web. I can conjure a mass of thick, sticky webbing at a point of my choice.
Great.
Creatures crossing the webbing may become restrained.
Okay.
Webs are flammable. Let's ignore the fact that the web. Well, let's just keep our open flames. Let's keep Hugh away from this. So Hugh's gonna sit this one out. Conjure a mass of sticky webbing at a point of my choice. And when it says creatures crossing the web, okay, I'm gonna cast web and I'm gonna cast it on Carol, so she's all goopy.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna glue as many sheep to her as I can, and then we're gonna march over in a group into the pen. Okay.
I love this so much, and I'm so angry at you for making me have to figure out how I'm gonna make you roll for that. I think that's going to be animal handling for you.
Animal handling? Yeah. Okay. Well, all right.
You are literally handling animals.
I guess so. It's not really a question of how well I'm handling them. I'm just sort of gluing them to things. I'm more of an arts and crafts than a like talking to. Okay. So I roll this guy, the 20?
Yep.
Oh, I got a 20.
Oh
shit.
Natural 20. Outstanding.
I mean, it's a good spell.
It is a very good spell. So, gosh. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna give you a +7 on that. That's gonna be your bonus. Uh, so please describe the scene.
It is a horrific fear of sheep rolling into the pen.
Okay, it's a katamari.
It's like a
sheep
katamari.
Yeah, it's a katamari of sheep just sort of rolling. Yes. And I'm somewhere at its center, but I'm lost. There's like one ear sticking out. But mostly it's just screaming sheep in like hoofs going everywhere. Yeah.
Fantastic. Later, I will ask you how you intend to get out of this ball of sheep, but...
Why would I get out of it? This is perfect.
All right. And Agrius, you're watching this scene in some amount of horror and dismay, I assume. What are you doing to herd the sheep?
First, I look at Grady and say, "I told you it's his final form." And then I put my hand on the back of my head, suddenly feeling the stock. Pretend to not notice it because I'm panicked. Cast light on the back of my head to make me backlit, and I just scream,
Beautiful.
"We don't have time for this! Get in the damn pen!" and try to intimidate the sheep to going into the pen.
Okay. Roll intimidation.
Okay. 10 plus I have +5 for intimidation, so 15.
Okay, I'll get you 15. So I'm going to give you a +5 on that. And so now we have our scores for everybody. They're honestly pretty good. So we're going to roll that d20 for the sheep and see what happens. That is, whoops, not rolling a d100. There we go. Okay, you guys. I rolled a natural 20 on this. So,
What does that mean?
So here's the scene. A beautiful banquet. So first, we're going to say that Grady very kindly encourages some sheep on their way. And they just kind of like glance off towards the pen. They seem a little disinterested, but then the shimmering appearance of like a beautifully set table. It's like the Last Supper with like just a long table with like illusory sheep already munching away at the feast appears, and some of them start to trot over. Then let's see. Then we've got the as they're trotting over, there's sort of like a ba from behind them, and this like katamari roll starts to like
Yay!
roll end over end over end across the field, like picking up speed. It's slightly downhill, so it's like a huge snowball, and there's a little bit of an incline at the end, so it's a little bit of a ski jump. So it flies up in the air a little bit and then like lands softly. It's nice and cushioned because they're shaggy sheep.
Yes.
Right. By
Lots
the
of
table.
legs too. They're fine.
Legs
It's
sticking
fine.
out in every direction.
Yeah.
And like the sheep that are on the bottom, they like extend their legs, and so they can walk a little bit, and so it's just like little legs sticking out of the bottom of the ball. And then Agrius, you're just like charging at them and shouting and like waving your arms to get the last few stragglers in. Additional sheep that you did not initially see like emerge from the underbrush and like start charging in towards the pen, and somehow you wound up with 30 out of 20 sheep in the pen at the end of this effort. Including
We're so good at Dungeons and Dragons.
They are. The sheep are a little confused. They're a little traumatized, as some of the people in the chat have predicted. But they are happy to all have regrouped here with one giant snowball of them at the center. The werewolf is looking on in amazement, and he's like, "I have never seen sheep herding like this before, and I've seen a lot of sheep get herded. You're amazing. You are inspiring. I know exactly what I'm going to do. I am so grateful. Here, let me give you something, a token of my gratitude." And he reaches. There's like a little chest off to the side, and he reaches in to grab some treasures for you. Anthony, he reaches in and he takes out a little bow tie that seems like it would be about the right size for you. He's like, I'm not sure your size, but I think this will work.
Yay! Yes. I want it. Thank you. It's so cute. Yes. Thank you.
I will say, at the center of a ball of sheep.
I'm sort of the webbing is it's quite fluid, so I can move as necessary through the ball and emerge from wherever I need to pop out. So I can just pop out of the top. Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna have to take a head count in a minute of how many sheep we got, but for now I sort of sploop out of the top.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
Okay.
I affix the bow tie.
You affix the bow tie, and he says, "This is no ordinary bow tie. This is a bow tie of locate object."
I have a magical bow tie. I'm so happy.
With this bow tie, you can describe an object familiar to you, or an object of a particular kind, like a pencil or a fork, and you can sense its location up to 1,000 feet.
Thank you so much, Mr. Werewolf, and thank you
Bow tie
also
of pencil
for
location.
making me a werewolf and for letting me have all these sheep. Can I keep these sheep?
He's
Do you
like,
need these sheep back?
somehow I picked up extra, so they're yours.
Nice. Thank you. This has been the best day in a haunted castle I've ever had.
I love that. Like, you were so delighted and overjoyed to have the bow tie before I even described as a magical item.
I like a bow tie.
Carlos, he reaches into the trunk and you hear kind of a clunking sound, and he pulls out a blue shimmering shield, and he hands it over to you, and he's like, I don't have any use for this animated shield. You can speak a command word to it, and it'll hover in the air for a minute to shield you without you having to use your hands.
What? Can I name it?
Please.
I have a pet. I have a pet.
What would you like to name your shield?
Shieldy. Okay, I have a pet.
What does it do? I missed what it did.
Uh,
I was writing magical bow tie on my notepad.
You speak a command word, and the shield will hover in the air and protect you for up to 1 minute.
Wow, that's pretty good. It's no magical bow tie, but it's pretty good.
What's to pick the command word?
Oh yeah, the command word is up to you.
Okay, dope. I'm gonna decide in the heat of battle what the command word is.
Great. Grady, he rummages around in the chest, and he pulls out and goes, whoosh, he like brushes out a cloak, and he's like, I don't know who left this here. It's been lost and found for hundreds of years. It's a cloak of elven kind. And so the Cloak of Elvenkind will give you +2 to AC. Your perception checks to find you have a disadvantage, and the cloak will change color to camouflage you.
Oh, how does it smell? Pretty musty.
It it is a bit musty. It smells a bit of it's got a bit of the hay smell of the sheep that have been living around it. So it's maybe got like a few little sticks and
nice.
bits of straw poking out from it.
I guess she kind of takes like a cape and she goes down flat on the ground and puts it over her to see how it works with the camouflage.
Oh, okay. You just like lie down flat on the ground, and
Just like
it shimmers, and sort of like a grassy pattern appears over the cloak, and Vidor just like kind of sniffs around like at the edges and finds like the edge of the cloak and like crawls underneath the cloak with you to curl up under there with you.
awesome.
So yeah, the werewolf is like, I'm so happy that you were here to show me how to do this. You've really inspired me. And now I should tell you that we residents of the manor have been entrusted to protect some magical runes. So in addition to these treasures, I'd like to give you one of the runes of the mansion. And he looks over at Agrias and he says, all you have to do to get one of these runes from me is tell me one thing that you're afraid of.
Clowns.
Oh, okay.
Deathly terrified of clowns.
He shudders and he's like, "Oh, me too. I'm glad this house."
I like this guy. Can you bite me too?
He leans in close and just
Let's all be werewolves.
He's got that your tail has been lashing back and forth, and he just like picks up your tail in his claws, and he goes, it's a little damp at the end now.
Not the first time.
When he and after he does that, he's like, as promised, here you go. And Agrias, on your hand, you see a shimmer, and a blue rune in the shape of a fruit salad appears on the back of your hand.
You got tatted.
I think we should leave. I think we call this a win and leave the mansion. I'm good with this. This can only go downhill from here on out.
There were people in cages, and now you're tattooed. This is getting very like S&M-y. I like it. We're in like a...
The werewolf waves you as you head back towards the house. It's a bit of a tight squeeze to like squish all of the sheep ball into the door back into
It's fine. Just Hugh pushes from the back. Hugh is constantly Katamariing me through spaces.
Great.
From now on.
I think you should like reshape them into like a body and be like a sheep golem, kind of like made up of.
How many sheep do we have in my mass right now? That would be helpful.
You, because of your excellent roll, you picked up 7.
7 sheep, and I have 1. 8. What's a set of 8? We've got Carol. Okay, all right. So 8. Can we make a body out of 8? Let's just keep moving for now. We'll get Hugh till we figure it out and we get names for them.
Great.
One's named.
They will all need names. Every single one.
We'll get to know them.
Yeah. They'll reveal themselves in time. Yeah.
You make your way back into the mansion. The cat is sitting on a bookshelf, just watching you, and he's like, "Well, you've certainly been through the ringer. Welcome back to the indoors. Where to next, visitors?"
I think we should celebrate in the ballroom for an extremely successful first haul.
That does feel like the most spacious room for me and the sheep to sort of figure out how we're going to move through spaces. I'm into the ballroom.
It's about to become the bar room.
Oh, no.
Take away a point. I don't
Inspiration.
deserve it.
Inspiration point.
I don't deserve
Inspiration point
it.
for that.
Back down to 1.
The cat leaps down off of a shelf and he starts strutting off down a hallway, and he says, "Walk this way," towards the ballroom. You are making your way through the gloomy halls, and the cat darts off to the side just before you get to some double doors that swing open, and you step into the manor's empty, echoing ballroom. And the ceiling here looms high overhead. Glowing chandeliers cast a dim, shimmering light onto the walls. There's dusty portraits all around you. There's a grand piano pushed into the corner. And in the center of the room is a discarded drop cloth. As you approach, it floats up into the air in front of you with a ghastly moan. "Who goes there?" What do you do?
Paragrinder, you're the leader of this group right now. No one's looking at us.
Hi, I'm Paragrinder. This is Carol. This is Donner, Blitzen. I don't know the rest. Dasher, Dancer, Donner, Blitzen, Comet, Cupid. Comet and Cupid and... Oh, I don't know. How many of that?
Vixen's one of them.
Dancer. Prancer.
Prancer and Vixen. There we go. And Carol.
Carol! Oh, wonderful. Yeah, Vixen is the one that's wearing lipstick.
Yay!
And the ghost, like, it's just like a hovering sheet, and he's like circling around the ball of sheep. Pleased to meet you. He's like shaking the hooves of each one of them. Pleased to meet you. Pleased to meet you. Thank you. Thank you. And a quick break here just to thank our chat. We have surpassed $1,000.
Holy hell.
So
thanks, everybody.
Thank you
Thanks,
so
guys.
much. Just want to issue a colossal hello and thank you to everybody in the chat. Particularly, let's see. Oh, my stars. There was a $1,000 donation just now.
Single $1,000 donation.
A single $1,000 donation.
Oh
Wow.
my gosh.
On top of, yes. So, my stars.
Wait, from Vivian?
From Vivian.
That's my mom.
Oh, Mom Hustle.
That's great.
We have to, let's name a sheep after her. We need to name one of the sheep Vivian.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Do it.
This is
So
great.
far, the rest are unstable, but we definitely got a Vivian and we definitely have a Carol.
They're Schrodinger's sheep, really. We don't know what they are, how to describe them.
Thank you, Vivian. That's very kind of you. And your craft room is so cute.
Yay. Yeah, huge thanks. And just a reminder to everybody else watching, we are raising funds for Seattle Children's Hospital. You can go to bit.ly/extralifeseattle, and 100% of everything that you give goes directly to the Children's Miracle Network and Seattle Children's Hospital. So a tremendous thank you to everybody, to Vivian and everyone who's joined us today. So anyway, the ghost has been circling the ball of sheep, shaking hooves and saying hellos. And at one point, he becomes slightly incorporeal, and he's on the one side of the sheep and just dissolves through the ball to the other side to shake some more hooves. And he says, "Oh, it's nice to have company here in the empty afterlife. But I can't depart this mortal plane just yet. Would you help me with some unfinished business?"
Grady is like pressed up against the wall with her like cloth in front of her, trying to hide, but she calls out from it, "What kind of unfinished business?"
The ghost vanishes and then reappears and like comes through the wall behind you and like passes through the cloak. And he says, in life, I was wronged, and only a mortal can help me conclude my business here on this earthly plane." And he looks up towards the ceiling, towards the chandelier, and he says, "Somebody threw my hat up there. Could you get it down for me?" And you can see there is a top hat hanging on the chandelier about 60 feet overhead.
I draw my bow.
Don't
And yeah, I know. Okay, I'm gonna I guess maybe take a little bit of cloth to wrap around the arrowhead so it's not as piercing and sharp, more bludgeony. And yeah, I steal my gaze and try to shoot just like the very top of it to flip it over the edge.
Fantastic. I'm going to have you do an attack roll for that. I'll give you advantage on this because that is a good scheme.
Oh, I crit. But to not destroy the hat, hopefully to just nudge it as requested.
Well, describe to me, you already described your intention. So you tell me what happens as this arrow sails through the air.
Yeah, I pull back my bow, pull the string back, shoot the arrow off. It just kisses the edge of the brim, knocks it off, and it falls on Vidor's head.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. It tumbles down through the air, and with a plunk, it just lands square on the top of Vidor, and he's just sitting there looking very proud with a top hat on his head. It's a little too big for a fox, so like it's just this like foxy snout sticking out from the bottom.
I'm glad I rolled my crit attacking a hat.
The most important role of the game. And so the ghost says, "Oh, you've done it!" And he starts to move towards Vidor. But no sooner does he move in your fox's direction than you hear a mischievous giggle from the shadows of the ballroom. And from out underneath that grand piano, a small creature with bells on its hat scampers, rushes over to Vidor, grabs the hat, and starts running around the perimeter of the room. Peregrinder, you recognize from your research that this is a nilbog, a mischievous goblin creature.
This won't do at all. Am I to respond to the nilbog? Yes?
The ghost says, "There he is, there's the rascal, that's the one who grabbed my hat."
This little... Okay, how do I kill this thing? Goblin. It's a nil... Okay, a goblin. What kills those goblins in... I'm trying to remember the movie. You
may be thinking of Troll, a movie about goblins, not trolls.
Yes. Can I check my book of research that I carry with me?
Yeah, I'd have you do, let's see. I think
guess I shouldn't kill it. Wait, okay, I have a hand. Don't I have a hand that I can... My mage hand.
You do have a mage hand.
It can carry up to 10 pounds. Okay. A hat is probably not... How big is this goblin? What are we talking?
Let's see. Nilbog is I believe that's a small creature. Small humanoid. So probably like, I don't know, waist high.
Waist high is more than 10 pounds. Okay. I get Hugh... Okay. I'm still all sticky, so I'm going to get Hugh to push me over to try to Katamari this one. Okay.
Just add it to the collection.
Yeah. So then we can deal with him once he's caught. So let's do that. Do I need to roll anything? Does Hugh need to roll anything? Hugh's steering.
I love this scheme, and once again, I'm furious with you for making me have to come up with whatever this role is going to be. But I really only have myself to blame for this. Gosh, I think this
Anthony likes rolling so much, he literally made it so that his character can only roll.
rolls. Yeah, at some point you could paint like 1 through 20 on the sides of the sheets.
You become a sentient sheet dice.
Wait, how many are we? We're me, Carol, Vivian, and how many?
There's 9 total in there.
There's 9 of us, so we're 9
Carol,
sided. We're what is the Greek for 9?
About to be a 10-sided dice. It sounds like we got 10 more to go after this.
Oh, and Hugh. Okay, so yeah, so we're gonna Katamari him. Let's get him.
I would say I'm gonna have you roll. I think athletics might be the closest to this for Paragrinder, which is probably not going to be. Ooh, it's a -1 for you.
Can I send Vidor to help, like, kind of herd the goblin towards it?
Absolutely.
To help him out?
Yeah. I would give you advantage on this roll. If Vidor is like trying to herd the Nilbog, it's like giggling and laughing, like leaping around the room. But Vidor is like trying to herd it from one side, and the giant rolling sheep is cornering it from the other side.
Can I cast command and tell him to wait?
Ooh, yes, you can. Let's see. Describe for me.
I hate that I'm on board. I hate that I'm on board with this operation. Like begrudgingly going wait.
Command's a tricky one because you're limited to 1 word, but I think this is one of the rare occasions where 1 word might be sufficient. So let's see. The target has to succeed on a wisdom saving throw. We're about to find out how wise a Nilbog is. All right. I'm going to roll that. I'm just checking the Nilbog stats here, but I don't think... that was a wisdom saving throw. That's a -1. So... I'm delighted to announce the Nilbog has rolled a 4 to resist your command. And what is the command you're giving?
Wait. He only stopped for 6 seconds. I just want him to like stop in his tracks, waiting for his next thing, while this big sheep ball rolls ominously back behind him.
So here's what's going to happen: is Vidor is cornering him from one side, and the goblin is preparing to, or the Nilbog is preparing to leap up into the air. But as soon as you cast command, he skids to a halt just as he's looking over his shoulder at the giant Katamari of sheep that's rolling towards him. Vidor scampers out of the way as this thing looms up over him, shadow cast down from the glowing chandelier, and there's just like a thump as it rolls over the Nilbog.
Got him.
And then it continues rolling around the side of the room with just some feet and a hand sticking out with the hat at the end of his arm.
All right. So I pop out of the left side holding the Nilbog. Got him. And then now we've got both.
The ghost kind of cuts a figure 8 around and with joy at the center of the room, and then he zooms over to you as the sheep ball rolls to a halt against the piano, and the ghost plucks the hat from the Nilbog's hand and places it on his head, and he kind of adjusts and he's like, yes, very fetching, at last we are reunited, my dear, and he pets the top hat. How do I look?
Great.
Good.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
That was the most sarcastic good I've ever heard. It says you, he says. And so he says, I am eternally grateful for all you have done for me. Now, as I can see, you have already discovered, he's glancing at Agrias has the rune on your hand. As you have already discovered, we have been entrusted to protect magical runes that seal the vault of the house. I would be honored to give one to you. And he looks to Paragrinder, who is sticking up out of the sheep ball. All you must do is tell me one thing that you're afraid of.
Oh, I'm afraid of straight people.
Heterosexuals,
Yeah.
none to be found for miles in the Feywild. We're all fairies here.
Yay!
I share your fear. Now, if you bid me, now I must bid you adieu. And the sheet sort of drapes
Thank you,
down.
Gagos.
He drapes down into the ground as you're all sort of like waving to him. And the light in the chandelier dims a bit. What are you doing with the Nilbog at the moment?
I'm just kind of holding him at arm's length right now. I imagine he's frantically trying to scurry away, but of course I am quite sticky at all times, so he can't quite shake loose.
Are you going to add him to your collection?
Well, what's his deal? I don't want to incorporate him against his will. Like, let's talk to him. Hey, buddy, what's up with stealing that ghost's hat and like menacing him for thousands of years? That's not cool.
It's like unhand me. I just really like hats. And he kind of shakes his head. He's got like a jester hat with like bells on the end of it. And he's like, I always had this noisy one. Just wanted one to call my own. I was kind of jealous of that guy.
I think Grady takes her Gina Davis hat off and says, if we give you a hat, will you stay in Hellbus? This one's very quiet.
How do you feel about being part of a giant rolling homunculus?
He said, how do I feel about it? Like this? And he just like feels around the edge of the sheep. But
yes.
Then he turns back, like Grady, as you're holding the hat out to him, he is just like reaching for it, clutching at the hat. He wants it so much.
Yeah, I give it to him.
Give. And he grabs the hat and he slips on his head and he takes the hat with the bells and he kind of like squishes it down on top of the hat. So now it's like a jester hat with a ball cap sticking out the front of it. And so he is a double-hatted Nilbog, and you're still like holding on to him. Did you want to like push him into the?
Want to help us out? You want to help? You want to stick around, buddy?
He looks at you.
The sheep are all vegetarians too, so we'll be fine.
He's like, always nice to make new friends, and he kind of like wriggles and like is trying to like he's doing like a swimming gesture now to like swim into the ball of sheep.
Okay, great. I'm adding a goblin, a Nilbog. So we're a Nilbog, a sheep that can tell the future, and 7 to 8 other sheep right now, and then whatever the hell I am, and
Great.
Hugh pushing us all along. Love it.
So the party is growing by the moment, and you see again the cat is just sort of like slinking out from the shadows. And he says, I knew I should have done a head count before you got in here. And he looks at the Peregrinder. You now have a glowing rune on your hand when the ghost disappeared of a blueberry.
What is it? I love blueberries. Okay, great.
Jealous. Twinsies.
You got fruit salad. You probably have some blueberries in your fruit salad.
That's probably
but mine is cuter though.
Says this like monstrous megalodon.
I am adorable and I will not be body shamed.
The ball of sheep is just sort of like rolling back and forth a little bit here, and he's like, I've never seen someone who gets around as much as you do. Well, where to next?
We did the ballroom and the kennels. We've got the master, the tomb, and the stone tower.
The stone tower is the lab, yeah?
Yes, the laboratory is in the stone tower.
I think we should do that or the tombs last. They sound scary.
Let's do the master next then. Yeah, that works for me.
All right. Right this way, and the cat's leading you back through the dark mansion. Your footsteps are echoing down cavernous hallways. There's sort of a low rumbling of the sheep and the sheep all rolling. And you can hear ahead of you a scratching sound. It's getting louder and louder as you near a flicker of candlelight. It's coming from a half-opened door. You peer inside, and you see a large, stately bedroom. There's a 4-poster bed with billowing curtains and rose petals strewn on the sheets. A large fire flickers in the stone fireplace with bottles of wine and wine glasses on the mantel. Next to a harpsichord, a man in a dark cloak is hunched over a desk, writing by the light of a gilded candelabra. The figure abruptly crumples up a sheet of paper and throws it over his shoulder, where it lands in a pile of other crumpled sheets. He turns around and he sees you, and he moans unhappily. "What, have you come to mock me?"
And he's a human? Or we can't tell?
He is humanoid.
I am going to elbow. Sorry, what's your name? Carlos.
Agrees.
Agrees. I'm going to elbow Agreus and say, you getting any kind of sense from this?
Yeah. Can I just like close my eyes as if I'm thinking and try to divine sense and see if I sense any undead or fiends in this room?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Let's see. So I'm just taking a look at the rules.
chat rightly points out that we have assumed he's unhuman because he has a weird accent.
So I'm just looking at your divine sense. Yeah. So you close your eyes. And you just like sort of sense out into the universe, and you're picking something up. You're starting to get a feeling. You sense some sharp fangs. You sense an incorporeal form of mist, and you recognize sitting before you is a very sad vampire.
Oh, you were right.
Casually mumble to the group, like playing with my hair just to be cool, like. It's a vampire. It's a vampire. It's a vampire. No freak out. No one freak out.
You're so freaked out by that you don't even notice that the hair that you're playing with is a pumpkin vine.
Damn it!
I'm so jealous of your pumpkin head.
Snap off a leaf, and I'm like, I don't know how that got in there, and then just keep playing with the vine.
Okay, the part of me that is this part of me pops out of the bottom of the ball part of me and uncrinkles his sheet to see what he's been writing.
Oh, okay. You are just kind of like leaning over to the side of the wall, and you like grab the sheet, and by the light of the candelabra, you can see he's written in like with a quill pen. He's written 50 Shades of Blood, and like it's a lot of words like crossed out, and it was the best of times, it was the sexiest of times. No, and like it's crossed out again.
That's not very good.
He says you're interrupting you're interrupting my writer's room.
Well, we're just kind of after some runes. We can leave you alone. Can we have a rune?
Nice, leader of the group.
He says, no, wait. You said you're here on a quest. You say, and you clearly. He looks over at the party. He's looking you up and down. He's like, you clearly have no problem making friends and socializing and getting close to each other. I wonder if you would help me write this romance novel I've been struggling with.
Grady says, "What's it about?"
Well, that is the problem. I haven't had any romance in my life in a very long time. I'm having trouble thinking of things that are romantic for me. But you all look like you are full of ideas and blood, but mostly ideas. Let's take turns. I will get started on the outline for my novel, and then each of you can contribute a romantic idea for a beginning, a middle, and an end. And he starts, he glances around the room, he's looking around the room where you can see like the red wine on the mantle, and there's a closet, and the bed with the sheets billowing. And his eyes settle on the harpsichord that is next to his writing desk, and he says, the book starts with a harpsichordist who's been unlucky in love, but then one day he receives a bouquet of blood-red roses. But from whom? And he looks to Peregrinder next, expectantly.
I also am looking at him expectantly. Okay, so he receives blood-red roses. Mm-hmm. He receives them from a terrifying mass of sheep, goblin, and halfling. And then I very gently kiss him on the fangs, and then I whisper, can I be a vampire?
He says, "Boy, you don't waste any time, do you?"
No, I don't.
James, I think, is listening on a slight delay, and I think he just got to that and just cackled with laughter off in the corner. Yeah, he says, you may feel a small prick, and
I've heard
That's
that
the name
one
of the book.
before.
That's the name of the book.
Perfect. He writes that down. Brilliant, and he writes that down. And you lean in, and he opens his mouth, and Paragrinder, you feel the fangs sink deep into your donkey cat neck, past the crinkling of the costume, the halfling costume.
Move my bow tie out of the way.
Oh yes, of course you have to move the bow tie out of the way.
Yeah.
And you hear him softly murmuring, "Om nom 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 nom," and
Now do one of the sheep.
okay. It's like, look, I can only eat so much. I've only got so much of an appetite. But if you insist,
One sheep.
he just sticks his entire face into the ball of sheep. And his head just disappears, and you hear from inside the sheep. You hear some alarmed bleating.
I guess we'll find out which one another time.
And he removes his head, and he's just covered in wool, like scraps of wool. He's got like a white woolly mustache that he is just like attached to his face now. It's like, I'm not sure if I made one of them a vampire or if they made me a sheep. We'll find out.
All right. So we're helping with the novel, and I'm supposed to give the prompt.
So we've given him a fabulous title. You may feel a small prick.
Oh. Okay, then let's make his love interest. He receives a bouquet of roses from a handsome hobbit dandy.
Ooh.
Who is in possession of a magical ring that they're not quite sure what to do with.
Brilliant! A handsome hobbit dandy with a magical ring. I love it. And then he looks next to Agrias. And you, what do you suggest?
The problem is that the Hobbit's family detests string instruments but loves wind instruments, and there's a deep rivalry between their families, so they have to overcome.
Hates strings, loves what?
Wind instruments, brass instruments, and it's a deep rivalry between their families.
Rivalry. Wonderful. We introduce some conflict. That is the heart of narrative structure. And he looks to Grady next, and he says, "You, what romantic elements can you suggest?"
I think to solve the problem, the most romantic thing I can imagine is leaving civilization and moving out to the woods and never looking back.
Yes, the star-crossed lovers set off on their own into the sunset, and never to see the sunrise again. It's a horrible thing. Beautiful, and he's looking over. Yes, a harpsichordist who's been unlucky in love receives his bouquet of blood-red roses from a handsome hobbit dandy with a magic ring. His family hates stringed instruments, but loves wind and brass, and the rivalry between their families threatens to tear them apart. But they leave civilization. They move out to nature, never to trouble themselves with the mores of civilization again. And so ends book 1 of You May Feel a Small Prick.
Very beautiful. I would read it.
James is hyperventilating in the corner right now. He's scribbling as fast as he can, and he says, I cannot wait. My heart is aflame once again. I'll get started right away. Now, we, as in gratitude, I would like to give you something. As I'm sure you know by this point, we've been entrusted to protect these magical runes. I would like to give you one. And he looks to Grady and he says, all you must do is tell me one thing that you are afraid of.
I think she looks around and then kind of gets in close and whispers, losing the door.
Oh.
Aww.
Then she turns on. She says, "Shut up."
Oh, that's really cute.
Loneliness, I understand it well. The lonely life of the artist. He says, "Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got a lot of writing to do, and also I hope you'll accept this magical rune." And Grady, on your hand, a blue glow appears, and there's now a picture of a chocolate bar, a rune of a chocolate bar on the back of your hand.
Is it like scratch and sniff?
Oh, yeah. You scratch it. You can smell the chocolate. You can smell the fruit salad. Agrias and Peregrine can smell the blueberries on your hands.
Oh.
No, if you'll excuse me, I have a lot of writing to do. And the cat pokes his head around the door and he's like, "Well, looks like you made short work of this one. Where to next?"
Grady would like to, as she leaves, just like grab a couple of the thrown away pages. She's a lonely woman.
Oh, okay. You just roll sleight of hand.
Okay. 14.
Okay. You slip a few of those pages just like into your inventory, and you've got something to read and keep yourself warm on those lonely nights. I assume you'll like read them aloud to Vidor when no one else is around.
Mm-hmm.
So you're heading back down the hallway. Well, what direction are you heading
in?
Laboratory?
Sure. Okay.
Let's do it.
I'm scared of the tomb.
You follow the sound of crackling electricity up a spiral staircase. You're ascending into a stone tower. The walls here are clammy and cold, but you feel a vibrating hum that grows louder as you climb. And at last, you reach the top of the tower and emerge into a laboratory crammed with fiendish scientific equipment. There's a crash of thunder as bolts of electricity shoot between metal wires strung from one instrument panel to another. Vapor curls off of iceboxes positioned around the room, labeled with body parts. There's a chalkboard with various diagrams of strange multi-limbed creatures on it. Wardrobes line the walls. The doors of the wardrobes are open to reveal colorful clothing. And at the far end of the room, a large hulking figure tinkers with one of the instrument panels. And Grady, from your time out in the wild, you recognize a flesh golem, a humanoid stitched together from the body parts of cadavers. As you enter the room, the figure slowly turns around to face you, and his voice rumbles. "Hello there. Would you mind if I picked your brains?"
Grady whispers to Agreus, "Do not let Peregrine near that."
I want all of this. I've already crossed half the room, and I am offering several hooves and paws to meet this person, and I want to consult with them about everything. Hi. What's your name?
It's been a difficult push to like roll the sheep ball up the stairs into the tower, but you just like,
oh no, we pushed ourselves up the outside of the tower and we jammed ourselves through a window.
That sounds much easier.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're telling me that the sheep scaled the outside of the tower.
Yes. Because we're sticky, and we also have Hugh, who is, he's not corporeal. He can float if he needs to. So he just kind of rocketed us up the side slowly, and now we've pushed in through the window. Because the spiral staircase was never going to happen. So my mass is becoming a problem, I admit. But who's this guy?
So I do just want to interject here that in the interest of keeping Hugh from becoming way too overpowered, Hugh's ability to push is largely spiritual and encouraging.
Okay, all right. Then I'm powered by sheep hooves.
The sheep hooves. You have multiple sheep there, like kind of like scrabbling at the stone wall.
Yeah, and between the stickiness of the webbing and the sheep hooves, I feel like we could get a good centipede style motion happening. Yeah. Okay.
I do feel that there needs to be some sort of roll here, so I'm going to have you roll athletics, I think.
Oh no!
Can I throw down a rope and try to help him? Try to pull him up. I don't want you to die this way.
Here's what I would say: is if you want to throw down a rope, like you reach the top of the tower, the flesh golem is there, and has just welcomed you to the tower. Agrius,
I'm like, yeah. 1 second, and then go to the window, see the sheep struggling. Like, this will be quick, and I throw down a rope.
Take your time. You throw down the
I
rope.
really want to meet you. I showed up to the golem that I have not yet met somehow.
I say to the golem, wait till you see this shit.
So you're hauling, and I'm gonna say we're gonna make this a combined athletics roll for both Agrius and Paragrinder. So go ahead and both of you roll a d20, and we're gonna add them together.
But am I as athletic as me, or as athletic as a sheep?
This is gonna be Paragrinder's athletics, which
And
is
a goblin.
the goblin's in there too.
What's the strength of 20 sheep and a goblin plus Paragrinder? Figure it out, DM.
I will say that
one is a vampire.
Whatever advantage is conferred on you from the strength of the sheep is canceled out by the additional weight of a large gathering of livestock. So this is going to be a normal roll.
Okay.
Matt's always rules lawyering.
Oh, I got a 3.
Okay.
Oh god.
So that's a 2. And how does Agrius do?
I rolled 10 plus 5, but I might use an inspiration point to re-roll this.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna re-roll. Nope, 3. You're dead, buddy.
I guess I just live down. Okay, wait. Are the sheep detachable?
I would say the webbing. If you can come up with a way to justify to me that you could detach them from the sticky webbing, I would allow that.
How long does the webbing last?
That is a good question. I'm going to look up the web spell.
I don't know if you want to start, Matt, at looking at the rules of the web spell. It may not end well for you and your sheep ball.
Yeah. I would say that a sheep can be removed from the ball through shearing.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
That is so gross.
But I don't want to. No. Okay. I'll just wait down here.
Well, so here's what I'm going to say is with that, I think it was a 15 plus 2, so 17 on this combined strength roll. So you are able to haul the sheep ball up the side of the tower, but you can't quite pull it through the window.
That's fine.
It is just anchored in the window there, in the stone window, as like the wind is like howling around you. It's just like a cotton ball on the outside of the tower.
All right. The part of me that's me pops into the space of the window, and I shake the golem's hand, and I want to introduce myself, and I'd like to know everything about your research.
That was quite a production. And he says, I've been working here for quite a long time. I've been attempting to build myself a companion to keep me company here in
Everyone's
the tower.
so lonely.
It is a lonely life of an academic. Been working on my own dissertation. I don't quite have the skills necessary to build an entire creature, but you all seem like you may be more capable. The recipe for a flesh golem is quite simple. You simply need a body, a brain, and an outfit, and we have many of each of those. And looking around the room, you see that there's racks and racks of brains, there's ice boxes labeled with different body parts, and wardrobes full of clothing, and he says, I just need some help putting together the body, the brain, and the outfit. Would you help me?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
I immediately copy down his spell book into my spell book.
Okay, so he does have a chalkboard with it's just like a huge chalkboard with like notes and diagrams and things.
I'm like iPhoning all of it. Like I'm just like getting it all. Can I do that? I want these notes.
Let's see. Yeah, I would say what are you actually writing with? Do you have in your inventory
I have a parchment. I have a spell book. I have ink and an ink pen, and I have 2 books. I have a book and a spell book, and an ink pen and an ink.
Okay, yeah, I don't think there would be any difficulty here. I think I will have you roll Arcana to see how accurately you're able to copy all this stuff down. And for Peregrine, that is a +6.
Okay. Oh, I got a 20. Kablamo.
Nice. Okay.
I'm making blood golems from now on.
You are making detailed notes on the creature's research. And it's like, you certainly seem to have an interest in this line of work. What do you recommend I start with for a companion?
You gotta start with the brain. The brain's the most important part of a companion.
Yes, of course. I've been. He heads over to the racks that have like jars of brain in them, and he says, "I've been racking my brains." Just a little golem humor. What? Sorry.
Wait, so he's a golem and he's trying to make a golem because he's lonely?
Yeah.
Yes, precisely.
But doesn't he see that making a golem does not cure loneliness? Someone made him. This is too sad. What happened to him?
We're here for a room. This isn't a self-help seminar. Like, make him a damn golem.
All right, fine. Okay.
My creator
what kind of
was
brains
lost
we got?
in the Feywild many centuries ago.
So what
Perhaps
are
on another quest you can find him for me, but this is neither here nor there.
All right, what are our brain options?
There are dozens upon dozens, and they're labeled with personality types and different skills and occupations. The golem says, I do prefer, I like the company of musicians, violinists in particular, so if you...
Has he been down the hall?
Why, what do you mean?
Well, if he likes musicians, we know where there's a vampire who's also a musician. Like, let's hook these boys up.
I have to confess, I'm a bit shy. I don't really meet the neighbors very much. What? But
we have
you
to
said
set them up.
Yeah, let's set them up in the ballroom.
Oh, okay.
They could dance. It would be so pretty.
Tell me your plan.
Okay, what do we need? We need music.
We have to make him look handsome.
We need to give him a makeover. Yeah,
I can make magic or music with magic.
Let's see if he likes him. Let him read the book. You just took the notes from.
Yeah.
So I pull out some of the writings and regretfully give them to the golem and say, this was written by someone else who's also a little bit lonely.
Who lives down the hall.
Curiously, he curiously like takes the sheets of paper and he's looking over them and he's like, oh, steamy, good. And he like takes the lid off one of the brain jars and like wets his fingers and like splashes his face a little bit. He's like, pardon me, I'm getting a little overheated here. Oh my goodness. Who's responsible for this tome?
Okay, so what did he say was important for making a golem? Brains, body, and outfit. So he's horny for the dude, so body's taken care of. So we just need to give him a makeover, and then we introduce them, and it'll be perfect. We've got all the 3 pillars of a good relationship. Okay,
how was the vampire dressed when we were in that room?
Yes.
He had a frilly collar and frilly cuffs. He was wearing a fancy overcoat with a black velour cape, very tight pants, and some shiny shoes. He had, let's see, like a little chain for a pocket watch.
I don't know if we can improve on that.
I have a golden scarf in my pack from the last time we went on adventure, so I want to wrap the golden scarf around the flesh golem's neck and say, don't show your neck until you're ready for it.
I will give you a point of inspiration for excellent relationship advice when playing matchmaker with a vampire. So he kind of like wraps it around his neck and he's like, all right, I've always been a little self-conscious about these bolts. I
imagine he maybe smells a little bit dead. And so
we have strong pumpkin spice smell. Oh, you've got something. Go for it.
No, actually. Oh, yeah, no. So I have an herbalism kit. So maybe I could pluck a couple leaves off of my companion, and with my herbalism kit, kind of like ground it into like a little like an essential oil to kind of freshen him up.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. You just
I'm like,
sort of,
I don't know when I ran into a pumpkin patch. I don't know where these leaves are coming from. It's so weird they keep up with my hair.
yeah, you can just sort of like dab them with the herbalism. I think I would have you roll. Gosh, let's have you roll. Survival really does not feel quite right for me there.
Medicine or nature?
Yeah, I think that might be nature. Yeah, let's have you do nature for the aromatic essential oils.
8.
Okay, it is. He's like.
I think I'm taking leaves and just like scrape them on his face. Like, is this helping?
Plants blow.
Oh wait,
salad.
Vampires love blood. We should get some of the blood from the body parts and rub it on him to make it more enticing.
Absolutely, that's a great idea. I would let you roll medicine. I think with advantage. Whoever wants to do that.
Wait, is my medicine high? What's
I'm pretty good with medicine.
I rolled
have nothing. Yeah.
I rolled with advantage and got and I have +4 in medicine. I had 18 + 4, 22 in medicine.
Okay. You reach into the ice box and you just get a little bit of the blood on your fingers, and you just kind of like dab it a little bit on either side of the neck, and he's like, if you think this will help, and it's just like exposed a little bit underneath the golden scarf.
Might move things along pretty quickly.
I guess the fastest way to a man's heart is straight to the heart.
So what have we done? What's his makeover consist of so far?
Haven't done outfit, I guess. Oh, wait, I have the scarf. We have the scarf.
He's got a scarf. I mean, my goblin has a top hat. Do you think my goblin would part? Hey, buddy, Nilbog. Is Nilbog your name or your like thing? I don't know. Did we find out this guy's name? I feel like we should have got
His name is also Paul.
Okay. Hey, Paul. How do you feel about parting with this hat for which you waged this strange afterlife war with a ghost for 1,000 years? For love.
The goblin's head pops out of the sheet ball in the window with you with the sound of a champagne cork, and he has the jester hat and he has the baseball cap. The top hat was given to the ghost.
Oh yes, right.
He's like, I could be persuaded to part with one of them if you can, in a trade, perhaps.
Do we still have our costume bags?
I would say that you probably still carry. You wouldn't just like leave them out in front of the house.
Okay. Well, then we didn't leave them. Okay. I mean, sure. Okay. Okay. What does he need to look like? He's got a gold scarf. He smells nice.
Mm-hmm. And you're giving him a little makeover for the Wampir.
Okay, that's okay. The vampire is like in a classic vampire look. Maybe let's go with a white suit so they have like a matching like contrasty thing. What do we think?
Yeah,
but
so
cut the sleeves off to show off his arms.
Yes, let's do it. Okay, let's do that. So I emerge from some angle of my sheep ball with my costume bag, and we outfit them in like a nice sleeveless, like vesty moment, but like it's all white, you know?
Beautiful. Yeah, it's like a white just this tuxedo vest.
Yes. Okay. Outfit. Outfit's done. They're hot for each other. Well, someone should go get the vampire, and some of us should get the ballroom ready.
So I would allow a little montage for that, so we're not like describing every single step there. So
okay.
I would say if you want to split the party to do this, just tell me. There's 3 of you, so who's doing the vampire, who's doing the ballroom, and who's getting the golem down there?
Okay. I can do lights in the chandelier, and I can do my fog to make like a nice little dry ice for the ballroom. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, it's great.
Let's do that. Okay. I think those are trips.
I can go. I think fog cloud's a spell. I could go down with him and use minor illusion to fill the ballroom with the sound of violins.
Great.
Oh, so pretty. Okay, let's do that.
Great. And Agrias, are you gonna head over to fetch the vampire?
I'm gonna tell a vampire to go down there, and then I'm gonna lead the flesh golem down. And before he goes in, I'm gonna put both my hands in his face and say, "You got this. Just remember, have," and then I'm going to say confidence and cast command and tell him to be confident, and then push him into the ballroom.
Oh, wonderful. nervously looking around. They're kind of like self-consciously. He's like, what is this? And from the other side, the fog cloud, there's like a break in the fog that drifts apart, and he sees the Frankenstein, the flesh golem, standing there in his white vest. He's holding in one hand, he's got the crumpled up pages, and he's just sort of like adjusting the scarf around his neck, and he's like, he says, I think these came from you. And the vampire looks a little startled at first. He's like, "Oh, you're familiar with my work." And they're moving closer together, and the music is playing, and the fog is drifting around them, and you can't quite make out what they're saying when they move closer together. But
So beautiful. We did it, guys.
This is the best thing we've ever done.
as they stand together, as the music's playing and the twinkling lights, Grady, you glance down and you see Vidor is sort of like licking his paw, and a glowing rune of a strawberry has appeared on his paw.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yay. They have this beautiful house. It's so good. Oh.
And and so the cat is just standing behind you, and he says, "Well, ring them bells. You brought them together, you matchmakers. I knew you had some surprises up your sleeves."
Thanks, Paul. Other Paul. Paul 1.
And from inside the sheep ball, you hear somebody go, "What?"
Never mind, Paul 2. It's fine. We're good.
And you start to like back out of the ballroom to give them some space, and the flesh golem says, "Just a minute." He runs over to you, and he's like, "I never dreamt that I could be." This is the wrong voice. I never dreamt that I could be so happy. I want you to have these. And he reaches into a pocket, and he takes out a little bag, and he holds it out to the party. Who wants to take the bag?
I'll take it.
And so, Agrias, you take the... sorry, was that Agrias or Grady?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay. So, Agrias, you take the bag and you open it up. Inside, you find 5 jade and 5 topaz gemstones. So you get like a little... He's like, I've been holding on to these for a long time, and I don't have any use for them out here, so here you go. And he's like, and also... at the bottom of the bag, he points to the bottom of the bag, and there's a little a piece of paper that has a cipher for decoding some of the notes that Paragrinder copied down from the blackboard. There wouldn't have been of much use without this.
Oh.
So,
well, thank you.
Yeah, so you have his researcher's notes, and it basically amounts to you just have to hold it up in a mirror, but still, he thinks it's very clever.
Well, okay. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you, buddy. I wish you many happy days. Do we have champagne? Let's give them champagne.
How much time until the night's over? Like, are we doing good on time in this thing?
You're doing all right. You've been to most of the attractions in the house. It's probably getting on like 3, 4 a.m. Sunrise is around 6 a.m.
You gotta book it.
I think
We only have one left, the tomb, right?
You cross the foyer again. You can see that the four of the 5 gray runes that are stitched into the carpet are now glowing blue to match the runes on your hand. And
as you guys come in the foyer, you realize Grady had actually disappeared for a little bit, and she comes down the stairs and she's like stuffing her bag full of pages from that erotic novel.
You hear from down a flight of stairs, you can hear soft, muffled music playing.
Oh, we could have had a musician for the thing. Oh, well. Okay, well, I keep on rolling. I push through into wherever the music is coming from.
You're now like bouncing down the stairs.
So you descend a rough set of stone stairs down into the manor's basement. That muffled music is still playing, but you can't quite make it out. The air is musty and stale here, like it's been sitting undisturbed for centuries. There's massive dusty cobwebs dangling from the walls, and in the dim light, you can make out ancient glyphs chiseled into the granite walls. You pass a series of chipped, faded frescoes that depict scenes of death and funeral rites and burial. And the passageway opens up into a large chamber. The walls here are lined with symbols in the shape of glowing pyramids. And in the center of the room is a gleaming golden sarcophagus. With a rough rumble, the lid slowly slides to the side, and a figure wrapped in bandages sits up. And he says, "Welcome. Today's contestants, it's been so long since I've had anyone here to play my favorite game." And so we're going to put a little cliffhanger here so that we can do some quick business. First, I want to thank everyone once again for watching and joining us in the stream. We are going to just check on where donations are at the moment. Let's see. We are at, oh my goodness, we are about halfway to our goal. We have hit almost $1,700. We're at $1,690, so $1,690.
Wow.
Huge thanks, huge thanks to everyone who has joined us for this fundraiser. You can head over to bit.ly/extralifeseattle to donate to Seattle Children's Hospital and benefit the research and treatment of childhood illnesses. So once again, thank you to everybody who's joined us for this little fundraiser.
Thanks, everybody.
Yay! I'm going to take a lightning fast break here to confer with the judges. So I'm going to give you guys just a minute or two to chat amongst yourselves about how this how the direction this adventure is going to take. So give me 2 minutes to chat amongst yourselves.
Okay.
I think Grady wants to, with her cloak of hiding, kind of sneak back into the ballroom, and she's just real curious to check out how things are going there.
I think we're about to have to play. What was the game show Pyramid about?
Oh yeah, it's like categories, right? It's like things you say on a date, and like the player says, yeah, it's like $64,000 pyramid.
Is this the thing that Betty White was always on, or no?
That is maybe Match Game.
Oh yeah. Oh. I might get more beer. Can I get more beer?
Yeah. I thought you were about to say, "Can I get you guys a beer?" It's like, yeah, sure.
I mean, I'd love to, but I don't think I can. Okay, I'll be right back.
Yeah, for this last leg, we need more booze. Do you want to go check on the loving couple?
I do, yeah. And I'm very stealthy now with my cloak. So, and with that fog cloud, I can just like snake in there.
I didn't realize Grady was such a voyeur.
Yeah, I feel like I'm realizing things about her sexuality in this adventure. She has a taste for it. She's been in the wilderness for a real long time.
We really killed it so far. I think we're crushing it. I cannot wait to use this floating shield.
Yeah, I'm guessing Matt was not expecting us to hook the golem up with another NPC.
Probably not. It was his mistake. You put two of them in the game in a mansion, we're going to make them kiss.
Like, they're going to show up on each other's grids. They're just that close.
Sure. 0 feet away. Okay, and then we probably should save our spell slots for our final boss that's coming.
Yeah, I haven't used any slots.
I burn command left and right.
You have all your healing, right? Your lay on hands?
My lay on hand stuff.
I don't know what I have left. I don't know what I've done.
You used web and then dancing lights like a million times.
I'm allowed to use dancing lights as much as I want because they're cantrips.
Yeah, that you can.
Oh, I used my fog cloud. Yeah, I did do that.
You have 2 inspiration points. You can get one of your spells back.
I didn't. I have an inspiration point. I don't remember getting anything.
Yeah, we all got one
for the costumes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we are back. So to do a little last minute poking and prodding with this encounter, but so the figure wrapped in bandages is sat up and said, "Welcome, today's contestants. It's been so long since I've had anyone here to play my favorite pyramid game."
You're right.
He says, ordinarily we will have 2 teams of 2, and I will be on one of the teams. Now then, who wants to? What shall our teams be?
The
I
mom
would like
hustlers?
to get to know this. I would like to get to know this mummy, so I could play with the mummy. I would like to know more about their undeadness and whether it's
Wait.
at all related to the golem undeadness.
What's on your notepad, Carlos? Is it that mummy hustle?
That mom hustle, but it's about
Mummy hustle.
Please welcome team that mummy hustle. And Agrius and Grady, we are going to match you up. And he says, and then I suppose this fascinating creature will be on the same will be on the team with me. And he holds out a hand, and it's like just wrapped in bandages, and you get like little scraps of bandages. You like reach out to shake his hand. So we are going to be transmitting some information to you through alternate means. So, team that mummy hustle, Agrius and Grady. He says, which one of you wants to give and which one wants to receive?
Grady's a giver.
Okay.
I figured as much. Agrees' tail goes up.
How's that pumpkin head coming?
Yeah, what am I looking like right now?
I'm gonna say like you feel there's sort of like a warmth. You feel kind of it just feels kind of hot. You're like, is there anybody else in here like really warm? And like when you speak, there's like a flickering light that comes out of your mouth.
God, I'm so mad right now.
Very pretty.
So Brian, I am emailing to you a list that I'm sorry. So you're going to be the one that was giving, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And on team, and the mummy leans in to Peregrine and says, "What should our team name be?"
Is the mummy the host, or is the mummy's also playing?
Normally, I'm the host.
I mean, because I do have several other sentient people available to play. Like if Paul the Goblin needs to play or whatever, then that's an option. But
We don't typically allow NPCs to participate.
okay, all right, okay. Wait, what do you need me to do? You need a name?
Our team name?
Oh, how come they got to be the mummies?
It's Carlos's mom's wrapping closet.
Right, that's true.
They were too fast. I'm concerned about the competition.
Okay. I don't know. The mummy dearests. How about that?
That's
Excellent.
good.
Yes. Wire hangers haven't been invented yet where I'm from, so it's perfect. Okay, so he says, I'm sure you're familiar with how these things normally go. One of you will give a series of clues. Each clue represents a word that you must get your companion, your teammate, to guess. You will have 60 seconds to run through an entire list. Grady, you should have received an email with a list of terms to present. So you must get Agrius to guess each of those words on the list within 60 seconds. We're going to put 60 seconds on the clock right now.
I just don't use the actual word or whatever.
Yes, sorry, by describing the word, but you cannot use the actual word in your clue.
Okay.
And you can, if one is taking too long, you can skip and go to the next one, and then come back to the one that you missed. And we've got 60 seconds on the clock, starting now.
All right. So it's a feline that's not
Cat?
white.
A black cat?
Yeah. A common potion ingredient from a lizard's ocular cavity.
Eye of Newt?
Yeah. A big pot for boiling up potions.
Kettle?
Really big.
Cauldron?
Yeah. A witch might ride on one of these.
Broom? Broomstick?
And might wear one of these.
Black hat?
Yeah. Is that okay?
That'll count, yeah.
And then when she's handling frogs, she's gonna get these on her fingers.
Warts.
Yeah. She might cast a spell, a negative spell on someone, not a curse. Yes.
Yeah.
She might build a home out of a baked good.
Gingerbread house?
Yeah. She might feast on some fetuses.
Placenta? What?
But after they're born.
Eating children? Eating kids?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's the original witch. She loves the Seven Wonders.
Stevie Nicks.
Yes. These three witches from Massachusetts finding their way through contemporary society.
Hocus Pocus?
Yeah. And then at the end, when the witch rises from the ground on the stage of the musical and she sings.
Wicked. Defying Gravity.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Good job.
That is the list.
They're very good.
Do you
Mr.
think a straight
Mommy.
person's watching this and being like, what the fuck are they talking about?
Was that English?
That's queer culture. Wonderful. That took a little longer than a minute, but I was enjoying it so much. So our team will have to get through the clues slightly faster to see which team is the winner.
Oh, no.
Now,
I don't know if I can do it. Okay, all right.
if you're
Am I
ready,
supposed to have got? Am I guessing?
I'm going to be giving the terms, and you must guess them.
Okay. Hang on. I fiddled with my Windows. Whoops! To check an email that did not actually exist. There we go. Okay. All right. Okay.
All right, we're going to start the timer now. Something that you wear on your face to obscure your appearance.
A mask.
An instrument that is played through tubes.
Pipe organ. A church
Yes.
organ.
A building where women
Haunted house.
sing a particularly Baroque form of music.
An opera.
Yes.
Oh.
A event where people wear disguises and
A masquerade.
Yes, the object that provides light in a ballroom.
Chandelier.
Yes, a dwelling for creatures underground.
A lair.
Where
a lair,
waste is flows through tunnels.
A sewer.
Yes.
Okay.
A object that you hold that has waxy illuminated
A candelabra.
yes a garment that you wear around your shoulders and
cape.
Yes, an object that a cowboy uses to capture
A magical lasso. A lasso.
Yes.
I figured out the pattern.
where Adam and Eve met each other.
Eden. Paradise.
Yes. Oh boy, he ate people in Silence of the Lambs.
Hannibal the cannibal.
Just Hannibal will do. A dance form involving tutus.
Ballet.
A romantic figure after whom a famous opera is named.
What? Faust. Don Juan.
Yes. Whew. Okay.
That was great.
That was, yeah. I'm glad we got the ones we got.
Yeah.
They were all Phantom of the Opera related.
Is there a lasso in Family Opera?
The danger that the Phantom poses is that he will get you with his mat. You have to keep your hand at the level of your eyes.
Oh, right.
You can't get a lasso around your neck.
Yeah. Okay.
When we were putting that together, I remember thinking, I'm so glad I don't have to give these clues. Team, that mummy hustle was slightly faster by 10 seconds.
That mummy hustle.
Maybe if the mummy wasn't doing that voice.
It's true. It's a bit taxing mentally. I have to agree with Uncle Deadly in the chat. I love that Anthony thinks Faust before Danju and so on brand.
It's because I just watched Phantom of the Paradise, where the opera is Faust, whereas in Phantom of the opera is Don Juan. But they're both about men who sell their souls. So
We get it. You have a PhD, all right?
I'm also a big ball of sheep.
Both of
The
those
two
things are true.
genders.
Yeah.
Tomato.
The mummy says, what a pleasure. It's been so long since I got to play. That was fantastic, and I appreciate you rolling with the punches on how unexpected the staffing for this one has been.
You make do. You've been waiting thousands of years to play your game. Like, we can figure it out. Have you been upstairs? There's a whole bunch of people up there you might want to meet. They may be having like a honeymoon by this point.
Ooh, wonderful. While they're distracted, I can toilet paper their house. And he like unwraps some of the bandages from his arm. He says, as thanks to you for entrusting me, as thanks to you for indulging me, I would like to bestow upon you one of these magical runes that I have been entrusted with. I can give them to one of your party. All you must do is tell me one thing that you are afraid of. And he looks to you all. Who would like to volunteer?
Something else we're afraid of?
Paul?
Oh yeah, Paul. Paul's
What's Paul
afraid of a
afraid of?
bologna sandwich. Paul's afraid of meat.
Oh, okay. Which Paul? No, it's the Paul. It's the Milbog.
Paul number 2. Paul number 1 lives upstairs. You should also, at some point, leave the basement and meet the other people who live with you. You're very rude to your roommates.
You have lovely neighbors here.
It's true. Sometimes you have to travel the world to meet a girl next door. It's like, well, thank you again for rousing me from the dead and giving me a new zest for life. And Paul is kind of wriggling around in the ball of sheep, and he's like, "Hey, what's this?" And he holds out his hand, and on his hand you see a glowing blue rune in the shape of an orange.
Aw, Paul, accessorizing.
Do we have them all?
Yeah, that's 5.
You now have 5 runes, and the mummy just sort of like sinks back down into the catacomb, into the sarcophagus, and is like, "Join us next time."
Yay! Okay, we've got
the
all
vault.
5 runes. Yeah, to the vault and get what is the amulet we're after?
All you know is that Titania has sent you here to recover a magical amulet that appears
Magical
in the house.
MacGuffin.
A magical
great.
MacGuffin. The amulet of MacGuffin.
MacGuffin, yeah. Yeah, it's probably. Are we starting to see like daylight through the windows a little bit? Getting close to sunrise.
As you climb up the stairs, up from the tomb, you can see through the windows. There's just a little bit of a blue light filtering in through the gloom of the sky. It's probably maybe an hour from sunrise at this point.
That's not dilly dally.
Yeah. You assemble in the foyer of the mansion, and the runes on your hands begin to glow brighter and brighter and brighter. A rumble fills the foyer, and the steps of the grand staircase tremble, and with a loud groan, the entire staircase lifts up into the air, the wooden slats sliding over each other and folding together to reveal a hidden staircase leading down deeper into the heart of the house. You proceed down the steps. And the
I just roll down it. I cannonball right down it.
Just like
I would say
There's
like
a distant crash as I reach the bottom before everyone else.
the party's just like standing around in wonderment at first, and then the cat just like saunters by and gives you like a little push with his paw, and it just like bounces down the stairs. Bon voyage. And you proceed down the steps after your companion. The creaking of the house and the howl of wind outside fade away into silence. You only hear your footsteps. And after several minutes, the remainder of the party reaches the bottom of the staircase, where you see the ball of sheep sort of like rolling back and forth a little bit. You see the rough stone of a dark dungeon with metal chains and burning torches on the wall. Cages are hanging from the vaulted ceiling. There are moldering skeletons inside them. As you step forward into the room, a heavy door slams shut behind the party, echoing through the dark. And ahead of you, at the far end of the room, is a gleaming golden vault door.
Are the skeletons still? Or do they seem like they're going to join the party?
They are motionless.
Okay.
The skeletons are definitely motionless.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, they're going to come to life as soon as we touch that door. So let's just disassemble them now.
I'm on board.
That's a good idea.
Do we have anything we can put them in so that they don't reassemble?
We can just like go around smashing all the bones to dust.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's pre-smash everything. Yeah.
So the party is like quickly, like you ignore the vault door and you're moving around the room. You kind of split up and you're breaking the bones apart and smashing them as hard as you can. It's making a loud noise, and
then a good clomp with the hooves.
yes, the sheep are clomping. And then at some point in your like smashing of these things, you hear like some additional smashing sounds, and you all look over your shoulder, and there are you stop what you're doing, you stop smashing, and you see there are now 2 additional figures here in this dungeon with you. They're dressed in clown attire. One appears to be a succubus, the other an incubus.
Heterosexuals.
One of them is like, hey bros, what are you up to? And
No!
the other one is holding a Cosmo and just goes, woo! And they say, been a long time since we saw anybody come down here, but always nice to have somebody to like go to the keggers with or whatever we do.
Can I cast comprehend languages so we can understand them?
Yes, I will give you a point of inspiration for that.
Do I roll? Hang on.
And you
15.
cast
15? Yeah.
you cast comprehend languages. I think, let me just check if they roll something to resist that, but I don't think they do.
No, Anthony cast it on himself.
Great. Oh yes, that's right.
Okay, so now they speak common.
So you can understand the literal meaning of their words.
All right.
That would be helpful.
Me and Grady are like, what are they talking about?
The one who's like, "What up?" You suddenly like you understand the meaning. Is
He would like to know how we are.
how dare you invade our sanctum? Everybody, roll initiative. You are in combat.
Shit.
What's initiative? What do I roll? A 20?
That's a D20 plus your initiative modifier, which is at the top in the middle of your character sheet.
Well, I rolled a 15 and I have a +2 initiative on my sheet.
Okay, so that's going to be a 17 for Paragrinder.
Vidor got 21.
21.
And Grady got 19.
19. These are some very good rolls.
I got 7.
Okay, never mind. So we're going to roll, clear that, and roll. Okay, so that's going to be...
Okay, wait, what was everyone's fear? Mine was straight people.
Mine was clowns.
Clowns.
Mine is losing Vidor. When that doesn't play out.
Oh no, and the other 2 had fears.
Bologna sandwich. We didn't get Vidor's fear, but I will tell you that it's in his character sheet that he's afraid of water. That's his flaw.
Oh. Well, excellent. So we are going to start with, it was, Vidor rolled a 21. So just to orient everybody around the room, this is a large dungeon. There's cages or cells around the perimeter of the wall. The incubus and the succubus in the clown costumes are at the far end, about 60 feet away from you. There are chains and mostly smashed bones and some cages nearby. There's burning torches on the wall. And the ceiling is high and vaulted in stone. So we're going to start with Vidor.
Grady whistles a couple short chirps, and Vidor runs up to the Broy. I can't remember which is which, but the Broy one, and is going to jump up and attack.
Okay, what's his attack?
It is an 18 bite.
Okay.
18 to hit.
So that's an 18 to hit?
Yeah.
That is going to hit. Roll your damage.
It says 10 damage. It has to make a strength saving throw to save it. Grady or Vidor can knock him over.
Ooh, okay.
Just against 11.
I'm going to do a strength saving throw on that. Oh, he rolled a 5.
Okay, so yeah,
Yes.
so I whistle. Vidor runs up and just right into the chest, grabs at his face and shoves him down as he jets off.
Okay.
So he's up prone.
So the succubus is knocked over by the fox and is like, "Hey, whoa, bro, what are you doing?" And he's like knocked backwards, and a beer can like rolls out of his what do heterosexuals wear? I don't even know what heterosexuals wear. Out of his heterosexual clown costume.
Yep.
Cargo shorts, like a
His
like a
multicolored
multicolored
polka dot cargo shorts.
a particolored,
Not like a football
pie-
jersey.
Yeah. Okay, so he's prone. Is that where we're at?
Yeah.
That is where we're at. And next up, we've got Grady with the 19 initiative.
Yeah, so Grady pulled out her bow and cast ensnaring strike on her arrow, and she was gonna shoot at the bro, but as she releases her arrow, I guess he falls down, and so she shoots instead of the other one.
The succubus.
Yes. It is a 15 to hit.
That will hit. That'll just hit.
Okay, so it does 8 damage, and then they need to make a strength saving throw.
Before the strength saving throw happens, the succubus is hit with the arrow, and she is just in the middle of taking. She's like taking a selfie, and she's like, "Oh my god!" and she's like, "You're incredibly lame," and she's going to cast Cutting Words as a reaction.
No.
So she is going to be able to subtract a little bit of that damage.
Okay.
And she's going to subtract 4 points from that D8.
Yeah, Grady was very distracted by that, I guess. Like, am I lame?
But you said there's a save
strength
here?
saving throw.
Strength
Yeah.
save. Okay. She's going to roll a strength save. She rolled a 16.
Oof. Okay. So,
This girl's jacked.
yeah, I think the phone vines come up and cover her phone, but it doesn't extend to her body. She cuts off the magic.
She's like, gross. And next up, we've got that the incubus, who is prone, which I believe on his turn, if he's prone, he has to roll to stand up. Is that correct?
And that's just half his movement.
Oh, okay, great. Disadvantage on attack. Okay, so he is going to like struggle up onto his knees, and he's going to be like, "This place is getting so lame," and he's going to stare you down, Grady, and reach out towards you with his frilly clown sleeves, and a wave of bologna slices are going to fly at you. He is going to hit you with that's
To make a baloney dexterity throw.
going to be 15 to hit.
To hit me.
Yes.
I just with my cloak, I'm able to keep it all from actually touching my skin. I don't want that slimy meat on me.
And he moves his arms off to the other side, and those bologna slices are now flying towards Paragrinder. And
No. Okay.
he's going to do +5. So he is that one attack roll for the attack or 3? Okay. So he's going to roll to hit you.
I love how we worked so hard to help these ghosts, and they cause us all this trouble. Okay, do I have to roll something?
No, he has rolled a 15 to hit you. What is your armor class?
We're on 12.
12
for me.
So
I don't know what my sheep and my goblin, and I don't know what a vampire sheep's situation is either.
You are all
Do we
the
have
entire ball is just plastered in slices of bologna now,
You would be hard to miss.
and you are going to take.
That's not good for the fur. Okay.
You're going to take 2 points of psychic damage.
Oh no. Is it my turn? Do I have to do something?
It will be eventually. Actually, it will be after the incubus goes. And he has one more baloney attack to do, and he is gleeful that he's been able to pummel you with this stuff. And so he just keeps focusing on Paragrinder, the sheep ball.
Is Paul okay? Paul is very susceptible to baloney attack.
He is just thrashing around in there. He's like, keep it away, keep it away, keep it away.
Can we retract Paul to the center of the sheep ball?
Yeah, you can try to withdraw him in close to the he's like at the heart of the sheep ball.
Okay.
So you're going to take 5 points of damage on that one. So that is going to be it was 2, so -7 overall for Paragrinder, which is going to take you down to 19 hit points on Paragrinder right now.
Okay.
Next, it is Paragrinder's turn. You are wreathed in slices of bologna that are just like gross and gooey and wet and like dripping off of you into a bologna puddle on the floor. What are you going to do for your attack?
How bad is 19 damage?
Oh, you didn't take 19 damage. You took 7 points of damage. That brings you down to 19 hit points.
Oh,
out of
okay.
26.
Okay, so I'm not in a mortal danger yet.
Correct.
Okay. I mean, I could. The webbing that's attaching us all is quite flammable. I could essentially become a living ball of flame. And what would be the consequences of me self-immolating?
I think you just described it.
Only one way to find out.
You would take some fire damage from that. It wouldn't be great.
No? Okay, maybe let's save that one then. Okay, so they're still pretty much intact.
Yep.
I guess I have.
Oh no, they were slightly damaged. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I have my fireball, but that's not super powerful, right? Chromatic orb. Oh, wait, an orb of acid, cold, fire, lightning, poison, or thunder. Incubi, and succubi. What would an incubi and succubi be vulnerable to? I should know that, right? I'm like a specialist in non-human entities. Would I know what they're super vulnerable to?
I would say these are
no.
These are strange, phantasmal, Feywild creatures that you have never encountered before.
Oh, okay. Well, they're heterosexuals, which means it's very easy to get them to fight each other. So
Yes.
I will cast Crown of Madness. A twisted crown of jagged iron appears on a humanoid of your choice. They are then forced to attack someone else. I feel like they'd be super vulnerable to attacking one another. So I'm going to cause the classic heterosexual grocery store fight and just get them to start tearing at each other with Crown of Madness.
Fantastic. So the way that works is they're going to have to roll a wisdom saving throw or become charmed. And when they're charmed, Twisted Crown of Iron appears, and it must make a melee attack on a creature on its turn, other than itself, that you mentally choose. Okay, great. So we are going to have them roll to resist that. They rolled a 6. That's not going to do it. So which one were you casting that on?
I guess are their stats identical, or like one's not?
You've seen one heterosexual, you've seen them all.
Yeah, okay. Let's cast it on her because I don't like the idea of him starting the fight. She can start the fight.
Okay, so a jagged crown of twisted metal appears on the succubus's head. You see a madness glowing in her eyes, and let's see, on her turn, you must use its action before moving on each of its turn to make a melee attack against the creature. Okay. So that is your turn. Do you want to do anything else? Do you want to like move or say anything, or like say anything to encourage them to get into a fight with each other?
I'm gonna say, which one of you took out the garbage last?
Oh. They start like they instantly like whip around to each other, and it's like. It's your turn. It's woman's work. No, I'm liberated. Men, and they start like just arguing about gender roles and constructs in a way that is entirely tiresome to the entire party.
Fight,
Nicely
fight,
done.
fight. Yes.
Fantastic. And do you want to like maintain your position, or do you want to move anywhere?
I am I'm popping in and out of the various parts of my sheep body, putting out the fire of the bologna. Is the bologna flammable? I don't know. I'm removing slices of I'm casting the bologna away from my body. I'm doing maintenance. And I check on Paul, who I'm very worried about, because if I remember that film correctly, contact with meat would not be good.
Yeah, so he is burrowed. He's in the center of the ball of sheep right now. He's doing okay. He's been protected so far, but there is sort of like a gross sizzling sound from the bologna slices. They don't seem to be the kind of thing you want to be in contact with for long.
Okay, can we remove them? Can I remove them?
You could just like roll the ball away. You can move on your turn.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. I didn't realize that. Okay. I move away and I migrate Vivian the vampire sheep towards the front into an attack position.
Ooh, great. Okay, so you just roll slightly to the side. Vivian is like staring at them with like intense, like furious eyes.
Yes.
About to.
I guess I'm also a vampire now too, but we'll worry about that later. Okay.
We have a lot of taxonomy to deal with for you. So let's see. Who do we have coming up next? You guys rolled so well. So it is Paragrinder's. Oh no, sorry. Paragrinder just went. So next up, it is Agrias.
Oh, sweet. Is using my shield command a bonus action?
That is a yes. That would be a bonus action to issue a command to the shield.
Okay, so I'm going to activate it by screaming out the code word, which is Balenciaga, and the shield is going to activate. Then I'm going to point. So you cast Crown of Madness on the succubus. I'm going to point to the incubus and cast command with the command word bicker, so he fights her back.
Ooh, okay.
Nice.
So I think he's going to have to do a save to resist that. Man, so the dice very nearly like it rolled and it was about to be a 20 and then it rolled to the side and was a 6.
Yeah.
Classic heterosexuality snatching defeat from the jaws of victory.
So he turns to her. You cast that on the incubus, right?
Yeah, so I think on his turn he has to carry out my command.
And he's just like growling and like baring his teeth. Like you can see, like the wheels are turning. He's formulating in his head something unpleasant or cutting to say to her.
And then can I use my movement to get right behind him so if he tries to move away, I can opportunity attack him? Like I just want to be like on top of him, waiting for him to move.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
So you like move around to behind him, and you're just sort of lurking behind him.
My whole life is me standing behind a straight man just waiting to strike.
So it is going to be the succubus's turn next. She's like decked out in the clown clothes and the madness in her eyes, and she's just like glowering. Let's see, and I just want to make sure I'm going to do like Crown of Madness. So she has to fight on her turn, action, make a melee attack. Okay, so she is going to have to do a melee attack against a creature that you mentally choose, and I assume that creature is going to be the incubus. So let's see. That's going to be... Sorry, I'm having trouble finding it. There it is. Okay, so she is she turns to the incubus who like she could see, and she's like, "Don't even start with me." And she is going to do a attack roll. She rolls a 17. So she like reaches into the folds of her unironed clown outfit and pulls out a seltzer bottle and sprays him with seltzer. That is going to do 1d6 plus 4. That's going to do 9 points of damage. So the incubus takes another 9 points. It's just like sprayed, like drenched with seltzer water because you have manipulated them into fighting with each other. And then she's going to get to do a wisdom save at the end of her turn. Although, does she must use its action, removing on each of its turns, to make a melee attack against a creature other than itself. Target can act normally on its turn if she uses a creature. Okay. So she does have multi-attack, so I think she's just going to do the... Let's see. That's another range. She's got to do a ranged attack. So we're going to clear that and throw it in. So she's going to keep her finger on the seltzer and attack the incubus again. Rolled a 16 on that. So
That's how I spend every weekend watching heterosexuals fight at the grocery store. It's my favorite pastime.
Yeah, so he's going to take a little bit more damage. That's going to be a 5.
They never have seltzer bottles. I wish they did. That would have been great.
This is the next thing
You could bring them.
And then she's going to do a wisdom throw to try to get out of the crown of madness. So let's see. That's going to be a d20, and she rolls 19.
Aw.
So so that the crown just sort of like disintegrates from her head.
Oh man.
The madness in her eyes like kind of vanishes, and she's like, "We'll talk about this when we get home, Paul." It's another Paul. Let's see, and then we are back up to the top of the attack order with Vidor.
Yeah, the door is gonna jump up and attack her phone hand.
Great.
And 19 to hit.
That's gonna do it.
12 damage. Is that right? Yeah. Yeah, 12 damage. And strength saving throw, maybe to hold on to the phone.
Sure.
That would be knocked prone.
She desperately does not want to lose that phone, which has an incredibly impractical case. So strength saving throw, that for her is a 13.
Okay, he grabs for the phone, then he falls down and does not take it with him.
She takes a picture of him with the phone after he.
Is it cute?
It is really cute. He's like on his back, like paws up.
Can we get some fan art of the fox selfie?
I love that fan art of the sheep ball that went by earlier. By the way, everybody, whoever that was gorgeous.
That fast? Oh my goodness.
It's what the people are clamoring for. Next, okay, so Vidor has tried to. He's done quite a bit of damage to the succubus. And next, does he want to do anything on his turn? Is he going to just like be there on the ground near her?
Yeah, he'll flip up to his feet. But yeah, he'll just stay there. And then is it me then, Grady?
Then we are on to Grady.
Yeah, and then Grady is going to rub her hands together, and she's going to cast Silent Image. Mm-hmm. And sort of like if the two people are facing each other, like here, so they could both see it, a figure of a beautiful, scantily dressed clown woman appears. I'm trying to create like that meme of like the man who's looking at the girl as his girlfriend is annoyed, to add more discord. So this, it's silent, but a beautiful clown woman.
Fantastic. I love it. So the beautiful clown woman like just shimmers into place next to them. They both
and she can move. She winks. She's winking at the incubus.
She's winking, doing kind of like a sexy clown strut.
Yeah, whatever that would be.
Whatever that. Like you don't know. So yeah, she's just kind of like she's a sexy lady clown. And let's see, who do we have next? Next up is the incubus, and he is like his eyes go wide, and he's like staring at her. He's like, "Oh, hey, baby, no, she's not my girlfriend or anything." And
brutal.
So he's a little distracted by that. He's like, just give me 1 second to deal with these weirdos. And he is going to look back at the party over at Grady, and he is going to cast Phantasmal Loss.
But I think isn't he commanded right now to bicker with his girlfriend?
Oh, right. Yeah,
Right.
hold on. Let's back that up. Yeah, you cast command. How long does that last?
It's on his next turn. He's got to carry out the command.
Okay, that's right. So we're gonna skip that. We're gonna go back a little bit. You're right. So, so he's like, he says to the succubus, look, this is what happens if you don't maintain your look, baby. I'm gonna start looking at other girls.
Oh my goodness.
What have I done?
And so he is going to, let's see, it's just bickering, huh?
Something to fight.
He's going to say, let's see, he's going to do hideous laughter, and he's going to, oh no, it's this, so I'm just looking at command. Can he attack someone? He is bickering, and their effects follow command one from, if the target can't follow your command, the spell ends. Doesn't understand like harmful to it. Okay, so I'm going to say that bickering is going to give him disadvantage on his attack roll. He is able to attack, but not well. So I'm going to have him cast Phantasmal Loss. He looks over to Grady with that bickering, and he is going to illusion. Failed save. Okay, so. This is something that he can cast on the entire party, and you're all going to have advantage on your saving throws to resist because of the bickering. So everybody do an intelligence saving throw. That's going to be...
Oh, this is one of my proficiencies. What does that mean?
That means that your score is very good for intelligence.
Oh. I rolled a 9. Is the dot...
The dot means the
one.
bottom. Yeah, so that's a 9.
Whichever.
Yeah.
That's a 9. Okay. I rolled a 9.
And add your modifier.
+4?
Okay, that'll get you to a 13.
You get to roll twice though, right?
Yes, you do. You have advantage on this.
I roll again. I got a 7.
Okay. So still not great. So we're going to keep that 13. And how did Agrias do?
17 minus 1, so 16.
16. And Grady?
A sweet 6.
Ooh, okay.
What do my proficiencies mean?
That means that some math has already been done to figure into your stats.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Should Vidor make a saving throw too?
No, this is just going to target the humans or human
Yeah.
anyone who is at one point human.
Excuse you, I was a halfling.
Humanoid.
Yeah.
So, Paragrinder and Grady, you are both going to experience a sensation of horrifying loss. Paragrinder, you perceive that you are back in your halfling body, completely unmodified. You have lost all of the alterations.
I mean, that's okay. Better to have loved and lost than never have loved before. It's just a perception? Is that...
At first.
Okay.
Grady, you perceive that Vidor is no longer there, that you have lost Vidor, and you are both going to take a bit of damage.
Oh,
that's going to be yikes. So for Grady, that's going to be 8 points of damage. And for Paragrinder, that is going to be 9 points of damage.
Oh.
And the silent illusion that I had, it flickers out of existence.
Oh, right. Yes. Yeah. That
I failed my concentration.
Figure, yeah.
Is Vidor a familiar?
No, it's a companion. It's a ranger thing.
Oh, okay. So my sheep is not supposed to have turns.
No, sadly, the sheep does not quite work its way into the...
I see. Okay. Is it my turn? Is that...
Well, let's see. So that was the... we started with the incubus, and then it is going to get to... It gets 2 attacks.
Oh.
It's still like he's still bickering with the succubus, and he's like, "Oh, look what you did! You chased her away." And he is. Let's see. He is still like annoyed at Grady for the ranged attack that you did. So he's gonna do. Hold on a second. He's going to do some vicious mockery. He is going to... you must do a wisdom saving throw, so go ahead and roll for that.
17.
He stares down his nose at you, and he's like, sorry, hot chicks only allowed down here. You're going to take some damage from that. From that. It's going to be... 3 points of damage for Grady.
Is that, and I passed my throw?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, what did you roll on the saving throw?
17.
Oh, 17. Nope. Oh, okay. So, and have disadvantage next roll before the end of its turn. No, so you did pass that, so no damage for you there.
Okay. Yeah, I think she just barks back. I'm looking for my fox.
Oh. Well, it's not this one. He gestures to the succubus. Keep your power glove off of her. I don't know. That doesn't make any sense in this context.
None of us have ever met a straight person, by the way.
I know. My invitation to straight people is so...
quite a
These are all
caricature.
rumors.
Okay, so that was his turn, and next we've got Paragrinder.
Okay, so what is my status? How damaged am I now?
You have taken 16 points of damage.
And my amount that I can take?
26. So you are down to 10.
Down to 10. How dead are these things?
They're looking fairly damaged. They're confused. They've been had like the clown outfits are kind of like ripped and torn at this point. They've been knocked to the side and battered about a little bit. So they're not in great shape.
What are the weaknesses of clown, heterosexual, incubi, and succubi?
We don't know.
We don't know? Okay.
No, because they're weird fake creatures.
Okay. Is my chromatic orb a good spell? What does it mean that it's 3d6?
Let me take a look at that.
If it hits, you roll 3d6 to find out the damage.
Oh, well, that's pretty good. Okay.
Yeah, it's hard.
I feel like, okay, I can choose whether it's acid, cold, fire, lightning, poison, or thunder. I feel like I should have... Okay, all right. I feel like fire is generally good for undead things. So let's go fiery. I'm going to shoot a fiery chromatic orb at it.
Fiery chromatic orb.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me, like, what do we see? How do you cast a chromatic orb from the ball of the sheep?
Well, I'm not aware that I'm still in a ball of sheep, right? Like, I think that I'm normal again.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you forgot.
Various values of normal, right? Mm-hmm. There's a chapter in my dissertation about normality in the Feywild, but I'm now perceived as a halfling. So I'm quite frustrated. I miss my sheep very deeply. I miss poor Paul, who I'm very worried about, Vivian, etc. The others who I have not yet gotten to know. So it's going to be a very classic, very like humorless Mortal Kombat, like Hadouken kind of moment. So I'm just going to give you one of these fireballs because I'm sick of these heterosexuals ruining everything, including my attempt to steal an amulet whose purpose I do not quite recall. My familiar cannot attack. It can communicate. Oh no, this is my familiar spell. Chromatic orb. Hurl it at a creature. Does that mean I can only attack one?
Yeah.
Is one more damaged than the other?
Yeah, the incubus looks like it's in real bad shape.
Oh, get rid of him. Oh, I'm sick of him. No. He goes. What do? I roll flatsies, little sixes?
Yeah, you are going to hurl that D8, which is, I believe that's the one that looks kind of like a weird diamond.
Oh, the one that does this.
Sorry. We're going to start with your attack roll. So that's going to be the 1d20 plus your attack modifier.
1d20. Oh, okay. 18.
18. Well,
nice.
That'll definitely do it. So now you get to roll 3d8.
Yeah, it's actually 8 instead of 6. We were...
Damn.
Yeah. 8s. So it's like the little diamond.
This guy? Oh yeah, that has 8 sides.
Yeah.
Yeah. I roll that 1.
You rolled 3 times.
Yep.
5, 3, 3. Math
11.
is hard. 11. Yay! Thank you.
Okay. So
Is that good? Is that
yeah. And sorry, what kind of damage was it?
fire?
Fire. So that you hold out your hands and the chromatic orb, like a burning blast, shoots out of you and engulfs the clown. And
Take that, Strady.
Who?
He.
Oh, I thought you said Grady. I was like, what's up?
I low-key hate you for some reason too.
You're like, I'm burning up your man. He's like, yeah. So he's like, just engulfed in flames, and he's like, oh no, now I'm flaming.
I hate him.
And then the flames dissipate, and you rolled 11 points there.
Yeah.
11 points damage. The flames dissipate, and there is nothing left but a pile of ash and a seltzer bottle and some, I don't know.
Puka necklace. Puka shell necklace.
And a puka shell necklace.
90s heterosexuals.
Yes.
I collect all the objects and put them in my bag for some reason.
So they are right next to the succubus. You could roll over if you want right now, but that would put you like right next to the succubus.
I'll wait. I mean, they seem like useful ingredients later, but I'll wait.
And then let's see. So that was Paragrinder, and next up we have Agrias.
Okay, I want to. I'm going to turn in my 2 inspiration points to get a spell slot back.
Okay.
And then I want to run up to the succubus and swing at it with my sword, which I'm just holding with one hand right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to roll.
Roll your attack.
Yeah. So it's not good.
Oh no.
8 plus my strength and proficiency, which is 2 plus 13.
Let's take a look. That is just gonna miss.
No, I hate myself.
So you're swinging furiously at the succubus, but she's just like, What did you do to
You've
my
got
boyfriend?
You've got a pumpkin spice latte. Surely she can be enticed by it.
That's true. You still got that, like, in your inventory. Like, I'm going to say, like, you're swinging with one hand. You got this pumpkin spice latte in the other.
Yeah, and I actually am a pumpkin at this point, right? I just make a pumpkin.
How much is left of it?
They're like pumpkin vines, like curling over your shoulders. You've got like a sprout at the top of your head, and your head is starting to take on a pumpkin-y, gourd appearance. So yeah, there's sort of a pumpkin creature attacking her right now.
Okay, then after I miss, I'm just gonna sip from my empty cup and say, you can have the rest if you want it, but it's totally empty on the inside.
Oh, like you just like drop it at her feet or something? Like,
no,
I
it's
got
like in my hand.
one.
I'm like trying to like entice her with it by being like, you can have the rest if you want, trying to bait her into coming after me.
Okay. Great. So she's looking at you like desperately now. She is like, there's a haunting look in her eye. And I'm going to say she's going to take a little bit of psychic damage from this. Roll a 1d12 for some psychic damage.
8.
Okay. So that's going to do. She like grasps towards it, and she sees, like, as she gets close, you like just tip it and nothing pours out, and she can see that it's empty, and you hear her scream, "No!" And she falls forward into a heap of discarded empty clown clothes that just like washes over the ground with the psychic damage that has just destroyed her, and her voice echoes through the dungeon, and nothing is left behind.
Oh,
I meant to do that.
Now can I collect their remains?
You collect the remains, the clown costume, the puka shells, the seltzer bottle.
I'm putting heterosexual remains in my inventory.
Great.
Realizing that the night is getting late, I just like rush towards the vault door and try to push it open.
As soon as they disappeared, the vault door clicked open and starts to swing towards you, and a warm light radiates out and engulfs the entire party. When it fades, you're standing in a bright shimmering room, tall columns flanking the marble walls with curtains draped around the perimeter. In the center of the room is a single pedestal in a warm spotlight, and on the pedestal is an amulet.
I grab it and run.
You grab the amulet just as you hear from far away the chime of a clock striking 6 a.m. and the crow of a rooster as the house begins to vibrate. You feel shaking around you, and the cat curls out from behind the pedestal, and he says, "Looks like the house is about to take off. You might want to disembark unless you want to come for a ride."
We shouldn't ask where it's going. I just start pushing Carabiner like up the ramp as hard as I can with the amulet around my...
No, let's all get out of here to get, like, we have the horsepower of 7 to 8 sheep, so let's just y'all climb in and we'll get out of here.
Oh my god. I love it.
Yeah,
all right, everybody in.
Is that illusion gone of us, the
Yes.
phantasmal loss? Okay.
Yes.
I grab the door scruff and I jump onto the side of the sheep ball.
And you grab on Agrias. You're like you're fully pumpkin-headed now.
Yeah, I push it like I'm pushing a boat off into the water and then jump on top of the ball.
Legs out, everybody.
And you're like rolling forward through the vault, out through the vault door into the dungeon. The house is rumbling and you can see like dust is falling everywhere, and you're scrambling up all the feet of the sheep and pulling and pushing against the side of the passageway, the staircase that leads up into the lobby. The cat is watching you from the dungeon. He's like, "Bon voyage." You get up.
Bye, Paul.
See you next year. You make it up into the lobby just as the staircase is closing down. The slats are folding back down. Up on the landing.
See the couple that we set up? Are they okay?
Yeah, are they okay?
Up on the landing, you see the flesh golem and the vampire. They're standing arm in arm. They're waving to you. The werewolf is surrounded by a bunch of his pups. Is like standing back by the back entrance, and he's like, "See you later." And the ghost is just like hovering across the foyer with his top hat on. He's doing kind of like a tap dance, like with the hat on, with a cane, and he's doing like back and forth with the cane. And you tumble forward out of the front door. The house, you can now see, is rising up into the air, debris and bits of like earth falling off of it, and the ground is quickly disappearing down below you. What do you do?
So we're like up in the air right now?
You're about 20 feet up in the air, and the house is slowly rising up.
Oh, we'll be fine. The sheep can stick that landing. Sheep are jumpers. We're
about to land on a bunch of dead sheep, aren't we? We're about to kill all of these sheep.
Vivian's a vampire sheep. She can maybe take the impact better than the rest. I am also a vampire werewolf at this point. I don't know if the werewolf part matters unless it's a full moon.
So here's
wait, I have a tensor. I have a spell. I have the tensor's floating disc.
You do.
It can hold 500 pounds, which is more than we are. Oh no, wait. I have another spell. I have Misty Step. I can teleport 30 feet, and we're only 20 feet up, so I can teleport us to the ground.
That's fantastic. Let me see here. I'm just like reading up. That's still very Misty. Teleport up to 30 feet. Occupied space. So this is a creative interpretation of Misty Step that you would be able to cast it on an entire party.
Excuse me, if you turn to chapter 5 of my dissertation, you will see that congruence is contiguence, and that we are all actually now the same entity living in a symbiotic relationship that is mutually beneficial but still part of one gestalt. And therefore we can teleport as one entity.
So
While he's saying this out loud to the air, I think Grady's just burrowing into the sheep ball, trying to take cover.
You are actually saying that out loud as you start to fall from the house. You're explaining the gestalt as you're like tumbling towards the earth. And you cast, as you're like just starting to fall, you cast that misty step, and Grady's like burrowing in. Agrias, you feel Paul, the Nilbog, just like grab your arm and like yank you into the ball of sheep. And you cast Peregrinder, you cast Misty Step, and you feel the shimmer of teleportation as everyone is pulled into a ball of fluff and cotton and wool, and then a bamf as you rematerialize on the ground, kind of rocking back and forth as the house disappears up into the sky above you, and the sun slowly rises over the tree line, casting the first rays of light as the spookiest night of the year concludes. And there's a sort of a rustling sound under the earth, and you feel like a shake and a tremor, and burrowing up out of the earth is your hayride with the unicorns pulling it, and it leaps up out of the air like dolphins and lands on the ground, and that pumpkin and the scarecrow sort of looks around for a moment. He's like, "Hey, did somebody take my latte?" Congratulations.
Yay!
Yay! The spookiest night of the year.
That was awesome, Matt.
We did really good. Nice work.
Yeah, that was great.
Nice save without the other person.
Yeah, there were a lot of unexpected elements to that story, with and without the final member of our party. Phew. Yeah, Cheka says in the chat, Gestalt is German for sheep ball.
That's correct. Yes. Yeah. I will cite you in the dissertation. Yeah.
Everybody, I would like to give a tremendous thanks to our fabulous adventurers here. Anthony Oliveira, Carlos Maza, Bryan Wuest. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching.
Fun. Thank you all you people out there, and thank you for donating. This is
thank
like
you.
I said, the best thing that I do all year. So
I'm just checking in on our, my stars. We're at 1,815, more than halfway to our goal for the week,
Nice.
which is outstanding. Just a reminder to everyone that we are going to be streaming every day this week, starting at, I believe I said 4 p.m. Pacific. I should make sure that I'm correct about that. But yes, I'm going to be streaming every day this week, some video games. And
What are you guys streaming?
The TBD, frankly. I definitely want to do some Stardew in there because I like to relax sometimes. I'm thinking also there may be some Mario Kart that we can play along with folks, and I don't know. There may be some Overwatch. I am not the best at the Overwatch, but I am open.
Can we talk about how Anthony was basically Hammonds, just like a huge hand running around shooting at things?
That is a good point.
I did end up. I got weirder. I didn't know what was going to happen this time, and I got so much stranger. Yes, but it occurred to me a few times. Yeah, that like popping out, and I'm delighted about my bow tie, which I didn't even get to use.
That's true.
We get to keep. Do we get to keep everything?
These items will remain with the party on your next adventure.
Nice.
Yeah, so we're going to be playing some video games throughout the week. Some of them may be multiplayer, and I'm certainly open to suggestions from folks for what we can play. And then on November 4th, concluding the live stream week, next Sunday, we're going to be doing our very first Queens of Adventure live stream. We're going to have 4 drag queens in full drag right here in this apartment. Somehow we're going to fit them. I'm not sure how. We may have to bundle them together into a ball of sheep. But they're all going to be playing a D&D adventure for everybody. And that's going to be this coming Sunday. Yikes. So please join us for that. Go to bit.ly/extralifeseattle for the schedule and to donate. And please share and tell your friends. We're going to have the recording of this adventure posted. So Twitch will save it automatically, and we may do like a slightly edited and snipped down version at some point to put into the Queens of Adventure stream, possibly. CB Smith says, I'll have to tune in next adventure to see how the hetero remains get used.
I can't wait. I have the hetero remains. I have the golem spell. I'm sure we'll come up with something like amazing for those two. And I've got to figure out what being a vampire and a werewolf is like now.
Yeah, what are the implications of that combination? Yes,
and poor Paul the Nilbog.
He's there with you. He's packed in with the sheep.
We'll have to find a way to make this binding more permanent.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see what my research produces, and what this amulet might do, right? Like, what is this amulet we just got?
We're legit watching an evil villain get made. Like, this is the origin story.
We're slowly, on your alignment chart, we're slowly seeing your dot go from chaotic good. I mean, you're honestly like, do we have an alignment for Peregrine? Yeah, chaotic good is like slowly moving down the chart.
I haven't done anything evil. I'm just like teaming up with people in various combinations. It'll be fine. I definitely drink blood now, but whatever.
It's not necessarily evil. Fantastic. Well, tremendous thanks once again to everybody. Please join us for the remainder of our live stream, and we will see you again. James, do we have anything else we need to let people know before we call it a night?
No, just where they can find...
Oh, yes, of course. Please, everybody, tell us where we can find you on the internet and see more of you. We'll start with Anthony.
Oh, I'm Mea Koopa, MEAKOOPA. It's a bad Latin pun. It's a Super Mario pun. I write things. I tweet too much. Mostly right now I go to Halloween parties.
Full-time gay occupation. And you've got a fantastic screening series, which I'm so jealous of you having on the other side of the country.
Yes, the Dumpster Raccoon film series. We just screened Death Becomes Her for Halloween, and we're screening Buffy the Vampire Slayer next month, the 1992 film, which I just learned earlier this week came out the same weekend as Death Becomes Her. So it's like this very strange double bill. There was once upon a time a Friday where you could see the opening night of Death Becomes Her and Buffy the Vampire Slayer as a double bill. So we're doing that next month.
Wow.
And then Batman Mask of the Phantasm in December.
Whoa, that is very good. Once you've exhausted Batman Returns for December, like you can only watch that one so many times for Christmas.
And it's like I said, like people keep asking why it's part of the film series, and it's like because it is the best Batman movie, and almost no one has seen it. So I can't wait to screen that one.
Awesome.
Fantastic. It's gonna be good.
And Carlos,
you can find me at Gaywonk on any social media site or Vox's YouTube page. We have a new video coming out tomorrow morning, so you can see more of my face there.
Fabulous. Yeah, Gaywonk. Outstanding video work chronicling and like doing a lot of just like regular labor and also emotional labor to keep tabs on what is happening to this world that we live in. You're doing the Lord's work. And Bryan Wuest.
I don't really use Twitter, but I have a website, bryanwuest.com, where you can look at my academic work or my cross-stitching. And then also my friend and I are we're starting to work on creating and writing our own adventures. And so if you go to weeknightoneshot.wordpress.com, we're about to like launch our first one that actually Anthony would like, because it is about stitching different animals together.
Oh, I love how this is. I don't understand Dungeons and Dragons, so I'm probably not playing it right, but I love what's happening here.
You're playing it right.
Yes, good.
We're very fortunate in Seattle where this is where Wizards of the Coast is based, and so I've been fortunate enough to hang out on occasion with Jeremy Crawford, who's the lead rules designer for Dungeons and Dragons, and one of his primary rules for D&D is if you are having a good time, you are playing it correctly.
Yeah.
So
then I am the best at this, and we're all the best at this.
Wonderful. Excellent job playing Dungeons and Dragons correctly today, everybody. What an absolute pleasure. I cannot wait for our next journey into whatever this is. I feel so privileged to have you joining this troop of weirdos. And so thanks to everyone who's joined, and we will see you again hopefully tomorrow. And with that, goodbye, Internet.
Bye, guys.
Goodbye.
Bye, guys.